Welcome to another video review. We're finishing with today, Max. This is that, and today, yes, we're finishing up with it because why? Because we can. And one also thing you should know is that I went by Mikey Smith's stream. And Matthew Hakim was there, DJ New Moon was there, and it was so much fun. They kicked me out when they couldn't handle the evidence of the Earth being a globe, and they started coping with the cameras and all sorts of nonsense. So they kicked me. But yes, of course, Matthew Hakim, the first thing that he wanted to talk about was He Who Shall Not Be Named, of course, because he thinks he has something there, and he doesn't understand that I had nothing to do with anything. So, Matthew, fuck you very much. You're still running away from me. It's been over a year, and now you latch on to this nonsense the same way that a couple of months ago you had latched on to the hate crime thing. So yes, Matthew, no thank you. If you really want to talk about that, you can come here, but you can also watch the video. It just says everything there. David says that New Moon guy, he really gets triggered when you call him out that he's not a DJ. I love that. So much fun. He just goes wild. And said he was a producer but just makes AI slop music. That's just nonsense. So Max says, I honestly think someone should check his hard drives and basement if he has one, or the crawl space in like the below the house. That's a crawl space, and the attic. Room names are hard sometimes. Okay, so Witsit. But wait, hold on, because I was going to do David's basically tuned up, and check it out. The sun is not object emoji is now on actual fire. There we go. All righty. If possible, someone can clean the place. Okay. I sent a message to FTFE to see if he wanted to come along, but hasn't read it. So, all right. Let's get to it, shall we? Wait to get it. Hold on, and setting up. Oh, so sleepy. Gummies are kicking ass. I love that. Good job. Live. Well, no, why did it reset? Damn you. Okay, we were at Jeran's open. Why? Hold on, I'm hearing. What the actual freaking hell? So I just the video reset the playtime, and it started playing that weird ass song that he has, but I had already scrolled on the video and the song kept playing. It was trippy. Okay, I think here we are. All righty. Before anyone says anything, yes, I have the same clothes as yesterday, but I showered right before the stream, so it's okay. You could literally lick my armpit, and it would taste like deodorant.
to see little swimming creatures. Now, you don't feel like they're in there, but they are. So the globe Earth is the same. You may feel like it's flat. We may feel like there is no curvature. However, we just don't understand large spheres. A sphere can be so big, 24,901 miles in circumference, that you can't tell that it's curved because we're too small. That's how the Earth is a sphere and how it is kind of beautifully.
I think I scrolled way too far.
And then go and do your own observations. I've got evidence tonight that you can do on your own. You don't need NASA. You don't need authority. You can figure out by the end of today what the shape of the Earth is. And we were wrong. It's okay.
I don't think so. No, I actually think it's someone else. Some flirt lady. Hold on. I think it does. It actually does say it on the song itself. Give me one moment. I'll check for you so you don't have to subject your ears to this nonsense. It doesn't actually. No, it doesn't actually say. I think I heard him say that it was a lady. David says it's fine. We just witnessed that chat room with Mikey. The chat with Mikey. Matthew and that other beacon of hygiene, we can handle the same clothes twice. Yes. Okay. It doesn't say, so let's go, shall we?
What? I'm a truth seeker. I told you guys that we were looking for the shape of the Earth. We found it. Let's move on. Let's get over it. Let's get past it. Thank you.
All right. Right here is where we left off. Ew.
All right. You are muted.
Yep.
So I'm trying to make sure we're right here. So it's rebuttals right now. Do I do my opening right now or my rebuttal?
Not sure.
You do.
Opening, doofus. You think you're so the king of debating the opening. I'll play this. I need to go get the hot water for my mate, and I'll be right back. Please don't delve into like anarchy while I'm gone. Keep some composure.
Do your opening now, and then you guys will do your rebuttal.
Back to the office and say, hey, this map doesn't work anymore.
Of course, I had to fuck it up. I put my headphones down and.
I'm gonna see little swimming creatures now. We just don't understand. We're too small. That's how the Earth is a sphere and how it may feel. Exactly what we said. There's a model.
Here you have the most refraction.
Did
and
I
then
in? Probably.
little sun out there just doing a little circle.
Or truth.
Fuck me. I'm so sorry.
More cautious with how much I'm commenting on everything, but I'm trying to get through the burden of proof. I don't really think that Jeran is denying that.
Here, yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so yes, Jeran and I are obviously have been friends for quite a while, and it is somewhat poetic that we're doing this at the summits, which we used to run together, and we did indeed go to Antarctica. So I am going to have to it's a debate, and so I'm just going to have to do what we do in debate. So I will lay this out, and I'll save a lot of the stuff I maybe would have said for the rebuttal, period. But to lay out kind of the issue with the South Pole claim and what happened in Antarctica, right? It's really simple. It's just an illogical premise, right? Because it affirms the consequent. And in its core, it's an appeal to incredulity. This is why I did not flip to the globe. That is my answer, is that to maintain logical consistency, I could not have flipped on all the logical foundation, the evidences, the refutations, simply because
I'll bring guests on after the intro.
Because I, at one point, didn't understand how something worked. If I were to say, oh, well, I can't see how this would work on a flat Earth, therefore it can't be flat, therefore it must be a globe, that's called an appeal to incredulity, meaning I don't understand it, so it can't be true. And this is...
Witsit, this is the lamest you have ever... Hey, no! Bad, Steel City, bad! I said no anarchy, specifically. You could have delved into monarchy or some other form of government, but I asked, please, no, bad. Coco Rose, hello. I'm sorry that I fumbled when I left, but here we are. Witsit, oh, yes. This is the lamest you have ever been. You didn't give an argument at all. All you tried to do just shit out random fallacies that have nothing to do with the argument. It's not that I don't understand it. It's that it's just not possible. And if it could be explained, then you should explain it, but you can't, so you shan't.
Very dangerous fallacy, right? This if we applied that standard to everything else in the world, then we would have never made any type of progression. So that's like my core issue with it is the people I have seen flip and ask them, they're just articulating to me that they don't understand how it could work on a flat Earth. And that kind of leads into the next part, right? Which is that they shift the burden that I would say that the globe holds over to me or a flat earther, right? Shifting the burden of proof, which is the person that challenges or denies your positive assertion, you're asking them to prove that it isn't true. So yes, it is correct. I will say that the flat Earth is the default position because it is. I think Jeran is going to be more honest than most people, right? So when we typically debate this conversation, so I would imagine he would acknowledge that the default position is that the Earth is a stationary plane. He said that we figured it out over time that we've been able to replace it. Like we can discuss that, right? But the default position is that the Earth is stationary. The default position is that the Earth is a topographical plane. We utilize it as such, like for almost everything that we do, for transportation.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Just the tons and tons of copium per second he's dripping. Just like, Witsit. Seriously. You can cry that it's the default position, but you know what would be a strong argument if you had any evidence that the Earth is flat? If you had measurements, if you have actual evidence that the Earth is flat. Because as Ale Vallejo said yesterday and Whodunit says now, the default position is, I don't know. Oh my God, the Siri in the... weird stuff is happening today. The Siri in my iPad just turned on for no reason. And now is still talking about the search or whatever it did. So yeah, you know, what's it? Evidence. Ever seen what that looks like? Fugazi 500 says flat Earth falls apart with the slightest bit of pushback. Yes. And a camera and a balloon, and that's it. You debunk flat Earth.
For civil engineering, we actually build that way. We fly planes that way. Like we have to utilize it as a plane. We actually measure elevation vertical, perpendicular to a horizontal baseline that is a sea level, the horizontal datum, and it goes on and on.
Oh, for fuck's sake. They always say the same thing. The sea level, the sea level. Dude, there's a reason why it's MSL, mean sea level. Because the sea level is not everywhere the same. Because the Earth is not a regularly shaped object, right? So the sea is not always at the same, it's not on the same level everywhere. So that's why we have the average and we make it, the calculation to more or less fit a perfect sphere. And there's also two pieces of evidence that support that, because we have measurements of, in the middle of the ocean, when there's a mountain in the bottom of the ocean protruding, then you get a bump on the surface of the ocean. And it's called ocean topography, and we can measure it. Where there's so much evidence for all of that. So we talked about, it's 3 points, but I think I'm forgetting the third one. It's mean sea level. It's mean sea level, sea or ocean topography. And then the other one, there's a reason that the Dead Sea in the Dead Sea is so salty. It's because it's the sea with the lowest elevation of them all. So water kind of gets stuck there. And that's why as it gets an influx of waters from currents and other oceans and seas and rivers and that kind of stuff, it gets an influx of more and more and more salt. And that's why the Dead Sea is as salty as it is. And there's tons of studies which support that. Like, if I were to debate with him and he asked me for the evidence of all of that, I would have that ready in a pinch. Not like him, though. BTF Wayne says Jeran's opening was the shit. I agree. He did a great job, covered many bases, but didn't just, machine gun a bunch of stupid points. I think he pretty well.
Evidence is that we live on a plane, but it is the default position. Therefore, just logically speaking, to claim that the antithesis of that is true, right? The opposite of that, it has the burden of proof. I don't really think that Jeran is denying that. I think he's saying that he thinks it's been satisfied. But the only issue is that if you didn't go to satisfy that burden, it cannot be an articulation of an appeal to incredulity because you don't understand how it can work on a flat Earth. It can't be, well, if I assume the Earth's a globe, this makes perfect sense. It makes more sense to me than whatever I would think of a flat Earth. I had reified a model prior to this, and therefore, since it doesn't work with the reification of my prior model, it can't be flat. It must be globe. These are just fallacious, and this is the very...
No, where is the reification? There is no reification. He's not saying that the model is the thing. He's just saying that when you do the calculations and you do the math and you do the observations, it just fucking matches the globe. The problem is that you did jack shit during the trip with it. So you're not aware of all of the things that happened while you were, I don't know, with your hands in your pockets.
Issue that's got us into this free falling through an infinite vacuum infinitely at 66,600 miles per hour nonsense that we...
Yep. This whole relativity and the solar system. The topic is the shape of the Earth. And you should be presenting evidence on how it's flat. And you're not doing that. All you're doing is crying.
We currently were told is true. This is the very line of reasoning that got us into the ever-expanding Copernican model that people believe to be true. Now, I don't know Jeran's specific position now. I don't know if he's geocentrist or not, et cetera, but we're...
Geocentrist is still a globe, though. But, I mean, the same way that flat Earth falls apart when you scrutinize it a little bit, so does geocentrism. You have no reason why the objects in the sky do that, like, spirograph pattern, that kind of, like, flower of life kind of a thing. That's just, like... You have no explanation for that. And it would require way more to have that kind of pattern be a natural thing than just an elliptical orbit. That those, once you kind of understand, and what helped me to understand a little bit more of how things move about in space, was playing Kerbal Space Program. Because you need to learn how to move something, how to move an object when you can't even break, right? Because it's not that, okay, you set up, you get in orbit, right, about around the Earth, and then you want to go to the moon. So you have to start increasing your altitude towards the Earth. But then when you get to the moon, you can't just hit the brakes. The way to actually brake is to thrust in the opposition of your movement. But turning the craft so that the rocket boosters face the other way, it's not as easy as it sounds. It requires some systems. So, yeah, I would recommend, if you're a nerd and you like it, it requires that you watch, it absolutely requires that you watch a couple of tutorials to get acquainted with some of the fine-tuning of the physics and how to work them into the game. But I would highly recommend it. It's a terrific fun times. NASA Security Force says, smash the like button, guys and gayettes or gals. Neto user says, hello, Max and everyone in chat. Hello to you both. I humbly salute you, because I've been watching. The humility is rubbing off on me.
We're talking specifically more about the shape. Is it a globe is the question. So I'm going to list off some evidences. I just want to make that very clear that, on its face, a stationary topographical plane is the default position based on empirical evidence. The
You already said that, dummy.
Antithesis of that would be that it's actually a globe, that it's a sphere, that the Earth is spinning convexly at a certain rate, and therefore it has the burden of proof. And if you point to the sky and say, well, if we were on a sphere, when I get over to the other side of it, everything would be upside down. And since this stuff looks upside down, therefore the Earth has to be a sphere, because I can't understand how that would work on a flat Earth. That isn't a sufficient...
It's not because I can't understand it. It's because you can't explain it. Witsit. You're a filthy liar. I am tempted to say degenerate, but I think degenerate is actually a compliment, so I'm not going to say that. But yes, you're just a filthy liar. And David humbly, bro. That emoji is so good.
Argument that is affirming the consequent, shifting the burden, reifying your model.
Yeah.
More importantly, it's just an appeal.
Witsit, you just said you had evidence. Can we get to that, please?
Building credulity. That's what it is. So that's why I don't resonate with it at all. So I'll list off some of the evidences of how we know that it is flat. It is a default position. Any positive claim requires the burden. And I actually don't resonate with people that just say stuff in the sky doesn't matter and they throw their hands up. And I can understand even Jeran's frustration with that because I don't resonate with that at all. I think that we should always try to understand the way that things work. We should always seek out answers. We shouldn't try to look at this as some type of little gotcha.
So yeah. More nonsense. Like, can we get to the evidence? This is your opening. You should be presenting all of your evidence for flat Earth.
Game where we don't have to answer that.
And he thinks he's a great debater. He's just like wasting time here. From a purely debate strategy point, this is just absolute trash.
But it is true that just because I observe a celestial phenomena, it doesn't then make all other evidence dissipate, right? So when we look at the preponderance of evidence, we have to stay logically consistent.
Ah, yes! Every single time.
Because I observe a celestial phenomena, it doesn't then make all other evidence dissipate, right? So when we look at the preponderance of evidence, we have to stay
the preponderance of evidence. Oh, every time. Oh my. Can I do one more, please?
Consistent. Because I observe a celestial phenomena, it doesn't then make all other evidence dissipate, right? So when we look at the preponderance of evidence, we have to prove that just because I observe a celestial phenomena, it doesn't then make all other evidence dissipate, right? So when we look at the preponderance of evidence, we have to stay logically consistent.
Oh my God! Wait! Oh shit! Hold on! Hold the fuck on, because I have this. This should work. Oh my God! Oh, Witsit, you're going to be on my next song, Witsit.
And we have to see what the empirical evidence actually says.
There we go. All right, I hit record, I hit play.
And then we go and test it and we see what the answer is. We don't throw out 95% of evidence because there's 1 or 2 or 10 outliers that we don't know how to currently explain. So I would say one of the really strong pieces of evidence that we live on a plane is something that we requires that the answer is. We don't throw out 95% of evidence and we have to see what the empirical evidence actually says. And then we go and test it and we see what the answer, right? So what we look at the preponderance of evidence, we have to true that just because I observe a celestial.
Hold on. Sorry, I fucked it up. So stop, delete, record, play.
Phenomena. It doesn't then make all other evidence dissipate, right? So what we look at the preponderance of evidence, we have to stay logically consistent.
Oh my God, yes. Witsit preponderance. Oh, so good, so good. Sorry, everyone, that but if I don't do this now, then. But now I have that there, it will burn a hole in my file system, so it will get me moving.
And we have to see what the empirical evidence actually says, and then we go and test it, and we see what the answer is. We don't throw out 95% of evidence because there's 1 or 2 or 10 outliers that we don't know how to currently explain. So I would say one of the really strong pieces of evidence that we live on a plane is something that we recently found out, which is if you actually take angle measurements to stars, say from a ground and from the.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Oh my God! Not 10 minutes ago, or yeah, even less. Very little ago, he just said. He just said the light in the sky kind of a thing. And now he's going to talk about the celestial theodolite nonsense, which was immediately debunked to hell and back. Alexis Fox asks, did you get a recording at sped up pace? No, Witsit is playing it sped up. Tell me more, says, gotta do it now or you'll forget. Shroom City. Wait, fuck me. I'm sorry. My eyesight is terrible. CVLT. Witsit is somehow a nerd and yet so wrong at the same time. It is kind of fascinating, the interactions. Peter, hello. Please excuse me that I asked Katie where Witsit's tongue image was, and I didn't ask if I could use her as the thumbnail. I hope she will excuse me. But I did put her on the description as credited that it's her because I hadn't done that, and I realized that, but I fixed it. So, all right.
Of the Earth, you're going to see that the star gets occulted by the mountain. As soon as that moment happens, you can take the time, you can measure that angle, and you can compare it to the angle of, like, say, in Stellarium. At that exact time you took the time measurement.
Love that. Without even addressing the argument, you can also remind Mr. Austin here that Stellarium actually uses the globe. So perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. I love you both. Witsit, Stellarium uses the globe. You just, how do you think that using a resource that is globe in nature, because it has the globe, it has all the math for the globe, it uses all of our systems, orbital mechanics, etc., Witsit, for the Earth, for the stars, for the solar system, for everything. And you think that using that in order to look at when a star hides behind a mountain, and you think that is somehow evidence of a flat Earth? Like, are you literally insane? It is one of the shittiest arguments that has ever been. What's it? You from the get-go, it's disqualified on the format. Just using Stellarium invalidates any flat Earth notion. Let's say you did the work and you did the calculations for a flat Earth, etc. Jesse has gone through all of the math, has all of the Excel spreadsheets and that kind of stuff. And it turns out you can do you get results for concave, for flat, and for globe. And I've had the thought that in that kind of a thing, actual local topography will have a big effect, a way bigger effect than actually the curve of the Earth. Peter Markley says, Katie was playing a Tony Hawk game recently. Ooh, the remakes? Yeah, I have that. It's so good. It's such a flashback to the PlayStation 1. Yes, love it. Love it. And it suddenly hit me that Witsit thinks he is in the type of punk culture. Maybe not skate punk, but punk nonetheless. But he's a reject from even the punks.
As soon as the star was occulted, you can then go to the mountain, compare that angle, and it is as if it is planar geometry. It matches perfect. The flat Earth prediction to that star matches perfect, whereas the globe, it would be an entirely different position, many degrees different. And the issue is that they would then have to try to claim refraction, but the star has already been occulted prior to the measurement, so refraction can't even be applicable. So,
you mean that because you're not watching it, the physical effect of the light going through the atmosphere and bending it just magically doesn't happen? What's it? Wow. I thought one of the dumbest things you had ever said was the previous dumb thing that you said, but this one I think took the crown. So what's it? Let's go through a little thought experiment. I'm going through my screenshots here to find the perfect thing that I need. Oh, here we go. What's it? Are you telling me that if we have this, but you don't look at it, then the laser is straight because you're not looking at it, because the refraction turns off to save some processing? Is that what you're trying to tell us, Mr. Witsit? I don't think so. Icy Spin, who has been a member for 1 month, thank you so much, which is basically the whole life of the channel, almost. Witsit saw the 24-hour sun, people, and denied his own eyes. It is a little bit sad that someone would just be so dumb to actually go through that and still say that the Earth is flat. But I guess what Toon says that we don't really want Austin on the globe. I don't. He can stay a flat earther. I was very sad for Lisbeth, but on Toon's stream, apparently she managed to get out, so that made me really happy because she was really nice. Just had this idea, and so Jeran has grown a lot on me since he turned. We've spoken a few times over on Telegram. Fugazi 500 says 800 subscribers, kick ass, Max. Yes, we did that yesterday. That was pretty dope. So it's 200 more and it's 1,000, and then 9,000 more and it's 10,000, and then 919,000 and it's 1 million. So we're almost there in no time. Tell Me More says, good for her though, honestly. Yes, I was so happy. She's super nice. She was so gentle, and some people attacked her when she came on, and I don't think it was warranted because she was a delight to talk to. Like, really. When do you have a flat earther that, and she didn't say anything. Some people were pretty horrible and she didn't say anything. I think she was cool. I enjoyed speaking to her, and I'm glad she managed to leave the cult. Oh my, Max V gifted 5 Yerba Mate Talk memberships, and they went to Carl Enier Christensen, Fugazi 500, mobile laptop. Wait, but that's not 5, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. You too. I'm missing one. What's going on? Ricardo for 75 Uruguayan pesos says, driving home after a good asado with friends, listening to Yerba Mate, of course. Oh, that is awesome. Asado, for those of you who don't know, is barbecue. And we run a barbecue. We cook the meat with the embers. I think I showed it in a stream that doesn't exist anymore in the past. But yes, we have like a cooker for wood, and then with some tools, you grab the embers, the red hot embers, and you put them right below the grill. It gives it a smoky. It's so good, so good. All right, let's get back to Witsit.
The actual occultation of the star in relation to topography. And the guy that initially went and made this measurement was a glober. He went out there.
Hey, Max, you having anyone? Yes, if you want. Sugar. Give me 1 second. Let me get this on to you. I actually told FTFE if he wanted to come along. There we go.
And he saw that the prediction is you can predict it perfectly with flat Earth. Doesn't match the globe at all, and refraction didn't work. He ended up leaving the globe. So it's very similar experience to what Jeran experienced, only he went the other way, right?
Who was he talking about there? Hold on.
Initially went and made this measurement was a glober. He went out there and he saw that occultation of the star in relation to topography. And the guy that initially went and made this
Dr.
measurement was a glober.
Jearn, yes.
And he saw that the prediction is you can predict it perfectly with flat Earth. Doesn't match the globe at all, and refraction didn't work. He ended up leaving the.
I think that Dr. Jearn just has a case of old man who wants to have friends. So he found out a group of flat earthers, and now they kind of like idolize him for having come up with the celestial theodolite nonsense, which of course you can never get tired of pointing out how all of a sudden it matters. The lights in the sky can tell you the shape of the earth for some reason. When they do it, it does actually function like that. Steve's creepy van. I just got here and already heard Witsit lie. That is, yes, there is like a 65% chance that you might just play any stream of Witsit at any random moment, and he's just telling a lie, kind of like Dave Weiss. But great, that was very astute, Steve. Hello, welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing fantastic. Hearing Witsit just crash out on the result of this debate with Jeran is just too good.
Oh yeah, Witsit. That guy. The guy who went crying to Nathan Oakley asking to help him come up with a new bullshit story.
Correct. I did review that. The video doesn't exist anymore, but it did happen.
It did happen, and that was pathetic.
That was it's like, yeah, I came here to learn. Like, and Nathan just goes ballistic. No, you stupid little boy.
Man.
And what he was calling him? Wait, insubordinate. No, I think that might have been Angel. No, Witsit, he was just accusing him of being a grifter. But good times. Flirt from Flurf is always nice.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. I had to survive listening to Mikey Smith's bullshit for a while, but I did survive, and I am kinda sorta recovering from that. And I was like, you want to know how I can recover from that particular flavor of stupid? I can subject myself to more stupid.
More, yes, because if some is good, more is better. But let me tell you, I did pop on that Mikey Smith's live
Yeah, I
stream.
did see that.
And yeah, they kicked me out. They can't handle the heat, apparently.
Oh no, they're cowards, absolute cowards. One of them was asking, "Hey, you want to have a debate with Red's Rhetoric? Let's go ahead and set this up." And they couldn't even give a definitive yes or no on that because they're cowards. They're absolute fucking cowards, every single one of them. And I kind of already knew that, but I didn't expect them to be like that obvious with it. Like, come on, at least hide it somewhat.
Well, yeah, they're not ashamed of being like that.
Like Matthew, right? Matthew.
Yes.
Matthew was the one directly challenged, and Matthew basically exposed himself as a total coward.
Yeah, Matthew has been running away from me for like a year or I don't even know, a long time. I haven't done a ticker, but yeah, he's so scared.
Here's the thing though. Matthew was on a live stream with Vlad, and this was after I offered Vlad $1,000 to engage me in a debate for 2 hours on my terms. If he were to survive a 2-hour debate with me on my terms, he would get $1,000. Well, Matthew made some sort of comment saying, I would do it for free. Okay, bet. Let's fucking do this then. If you're gonna do it for free, I love that. You know, that's the price I want to pay.
Yes.
But when it came time to actually back up his shit and say, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and debate Red's Rhetoric, he couldn't do that. He couldn't just say, yes, I will debate Red's Rhetoric. These are my terms. I would prefer to have it on this particular channel at this particular time. Dude didn't even try to go that far with it.
No, he now with me he claims he wants to go on MDD only, but then never sends the email. And I don't think James wants to have him on like a 1v1. So James was offering me a 2v2, but I don't want a 2v2. I want Matthew all to myself because I'm selfish like that.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. I too am very, very selfish.
Yes, I don't know. I prefer singles debate. It's a little bit better. You can control stuff a lot more.
Yes, I
do remember that bet thing, and I massively triggered Vlad soon after because I told him that he was broke and he wouldn't take $1,000 when he was broke, and he kind of got pissed at me for that.
You know, it's one thing where there's a reason why I offered him $1,000. It's because what I wanted to do was I wanted to demonstrate that he was a coward, but I needed like definitive proof of that. And the best way of doing that is to give him an offer that no reasonable person would refuse unless you are in fact a coward. Basically, you being a coward would be the only reason that you would say no to $1,000, especially when all you have to do is talk to somebody for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's a lot more than minimum wage.
Yeah, that's $500 an hour. But get this, if I'm paying $1,000, I'm going to get my money's worth, which means
I agree.
Which means I'm going to be in control of the conversation. I get to decide how long this goes for, and I am requesting 2 hours. I think that's reasonable given the fact that I'm paying $1,000.
Yeah, it's a lot. Tell Me More says that he will debate you from the flat earther POV for $1,000, but
yeah, exactly.
I mean, everyone would take it.
Everyone.
Like, do you want me to wear a wig and lipstick? I'll do it. Who cares? All right, let's do some Witsit derping. He's now reviewing his opening.
The globe. So it's very similar experience to what Jeran experienced, only he went the other way, right? So that just is a piece of evidence, and there is no sufficient rebuttal I've heard for the globe. We can also talk about the linear distribution of the electrical.
There's no sufficient rebuttal for the globe. Yes, Witsit. It gives. Do you know about the celestial theodolite? Have you heard about that, Reds?
Yes, I have. I know that they completely misunderstand it, though.
It is a mixture between completely misunderstanding, starting off with data from Stellarium, which of course uses the globe, and then also Jesse, Path of Light, went through all of the data and did some measurements himself. And apparently, depending on your distance to the mountain, it can give you concave results, it can give you flat Earth results, and it can give you globe results. But
I did hear about this vaguely from Astronomy Live, and basically what was being done is that they were cherry picking starting points, which would result in the results that they actually want. We actually have a scientific term for that. It's called being full of shit.
Exactly, yes. And also turning off, for example, refraction on Stellarium, because apparently Witsit was saying just now before you joined that if the star is is hidden by the mountain, then refraction for some reason doesn't apply anymore.
Yeah, because
you're not seeing it. So yeah, magic or apparently, or I don't know, lack of object permanence. I don't really know what's going on there, but it's wild.
Electrical field. We actually have an electrical field on the Earth, and it's a linear distribution, horizontal field lines of the electrical field. This cannot happen. It has to be a radial distribution on a sphere, and it would actually fall off exponentially away from the center. But that's not what we observe. We don't observe.
Okay. Do you know what he's talking about here? Because I do. Fine, man.
I mean, to be fair, sometimes I use really fancy words to make myself sound more photosynthesis.
I 100% get that.
Basically, what I see here is that, and Witsit has always struck me as this type of person. He is so desperate to sound smart.
Yes, that is 100%. But he's also very, very dishonest on what he's actually doing right now, because what he's talking about is this Feynman lecture, which I'm going to share here, that talks about electricity in the atmosphere. So this shows how there is an electric potential in the atmosphere, right? That is equidistant because to the surface. But it also shows that if there's a person, the equidistant surface kind of curves around them. And the problem is that when he's doing this, while he's doing this, Feynman also has this lecture on the theory of gravitation. It's the epitome of dishonesty. because Witsit would absolutely deny this lecture, but accept this other one. And Dan says, read 9.2. Okay. A grounded metal plate will have the same surface charge as the Earth. If the plate is covered with a grounded conductor, it will have no surface charge. Yes, this is another thing that he also gets wrong, the Gaussian plates.
Well, I see something similar happen, or I should say, I see something similar happening with Neil deGrasse Tyson. So Neil deGrasse Tyson, bless his heart, was on stage saying that if you're at the altitude of the world record Red Bull jump, the guy that jumped from space or whatever, he Neil deGrasse Tyson said, "I've done the math, and that horizon is flat." So they take that quote as if to say that Neil deGrasse Tyson is saying that the Earth is flat. But what they don't do is they don't quote Neil deGrasse Tyson when he's on a talk show talking to a rapper, B.O.B., I believe it is, when he says, the Earth isn't fucking flat. Yeah, so they'll ignore that quote, but they'll pay attention to this other quote that they think backs them up. It's completely dishonest, and I see it happening here.
Yes, I mean, Witsit is the epitome of that, but that's exactly what he's doing. He's co-opting one Feynman lecture to make a point. And then this argument he's going down, he continues by saying, usually, no, I don't remember exactly here, but he usually continues by saying that gravity is electrostatics, which has a whole bunch of problems. First of all, that electrostatic is just a static charge. It doesn't make things move. And the other part is that it would have a repelling component, as electrostatics have, attracting and repelling forces. And the other part is that if gravity was electrostatics, then it wouldn't take 20,000 volts to float a little piece of styrofoam of less than 0.5 grams, like a tiny little thing. Like he was so proud of his Van de Graaff generator, and it takes 20,000 volts to float up a hair, right? It's like, okay, come back to me when you can float a freaking bus.
Yeah, and this is the weird thing about it, is that they are so desperate to make it something other than gravity. But here's the thing that Witsit and all these other jackasses just don't understand. You can call it gravity, you can call it magical unicorn farts. It doesn't matter. The reason why they're so on this is because they're conflating two different questions. Question one is the Earth a sphere? Question two is, why is the Earth a sphere? And they don't seem to understand that these are two different fucking questions. One is a question of physics. The other is a question of pure geometry. And guess what? I can tell you the geometric facts of our planet without bringing up gravity at all. So these motherfuckers are just conflating these two separate things, and it's really fucking annoying.
It is. I don't know if you know, Planet Peterson has an argument which I find quite interesting about the center of mass, where you can balance stuff, right? Why do things have a center of mass if it's not like a gravitational thing? And that is it's a great question. I don't think any of them can answer. Eric E. Master of Flat Earth asks, how much charge to cause a brick to levitate? Like a ceramic brick or a regular house brick? I don't think you could even float. I honestly don't know. But I was kind of making a point that with 20,000 volts, you can just float little pieces of trash. So there's no way electricity can move things like that in the way that gravity does with the constant acceleration. It just doesn't work.
observe that. The linear distribution of electrical field is a major issue. It's an impossibility on a sphere, right? So what typically happens, I'm guessing that we're getting close to my time.
Have you never heard of radial distribution, you jackass? You can see that on ripples in a pond, the doofus. He's so Witsit. I don't think you know this. Witsit kind of hates me because I always call him dummy. So he gets super triggered by that because it hurts him.
If he hates you, then you're doing something right.
Oh yeah, definitely. The other day he told MC2 was reviewing another stream of his, and he had some comments towards me like, "Who's that guy that does the after shows? He's so arrogant and he's so ruthless." And
yeah, that tends to happen when
I was
correct.
like, "Oh, you get me with it. I love that. We're such good friends."
do you think he fantasizes about you?
Yes, he has. Every once in a while, I might pop in. I'm pretty sure.
Witsit, if you want to write some fan fiction, I would support you.
He's looking for them.
How about this? Witsit, I'll be your first customer.
He's desperate. I don't know if you saw this, but in the beginning, he has like 15 minutes of just straight panhandling, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start like a health community for fasting, and he sells some shit supplement, and it's a mess.
He's doing the Alex Jones thing. If you put these tablets in your water will no longer turn the freaking frogs gay.
Yes. Hello. All right, let's carry on.
I got 2 more minutes. So what typically happens is it is what we've always experienced, and this is why I will be very blunt. I'm quite perplexed about Jeran's approach. Like I was there with him. To all the people that are saying that he's faking, he's not. I was there.
That's exactly how we feel. It's baffling that you were there after saying, I don't know for how long, that there is no 24-hour sun. And now it's just one piece of data. It's just, oh, that's something now that we know extra. Dude, no, this is massive.
I'm surprised this dude doesn't have a moment to just look in the mirror and be like, wait, but I did that for years. I would just say that things were fake and pull those claims right out of my ass with no evidence to back them up. I was the problem the entire time. Like not even once.
And seeing, seeing your friend who you stood shoulder to shoulder for many years and did events and derped out all over the place. And you see him turn and you're just like, nah.
The right thing to say at that particular moment in time would have been, okay, I now understand that the claim of CGI is just pure cope from the flat earth community. It is just pure, unfiltered cope. That is cope on steroids. You got that cope straight from Copenhagen, okay? There is so much cope with just this blanket claim of CGI and dismissing it just based on that claim.
And the poetic justice of dummies like Flatzoid saying it's all fake, it's the Vegas sphere, the studio, all of the dumbass conspiracies that kept popping up. The one that we have to give them to is the vape gate. But other than that, I don't know if you know, but there was a conspiracy that lasted like 5 minutes, and someone had taken Jeran's footage from his GoPro, the one that he was kind of wearing, and he was eating a cup of ramen noodles, but of course they were both in Chile. The package was in Spanish, so it said sabor a pollo, which means chicken flavor. So some very dumb derpling did a video on how Jeran was a sun worshiper, because they cropped the video so it said a pollo, so Apollo, so he was a sun worshiper. Like, how desperate is that? dude, I get it that you probably don't speak Spanish, but I don't know, just Google it. It's the same letters. It uses the same alphabet.
I mean, yeah, I mean, listen, I understand that second languages can be hard. I don't speak a second language. I mean, I got really, really good at Spanish. Like, for example, I can say bonjour. There you go. Spanish. Perfect.
Pretty sure that's French, but okay. At least it was pronounced fairly.
I think you're pulling my leg here. I think you're pulling my leg.
No, I mean, Spanish is my language.
So what I'm saying is you are CGI and you are fake and
oh, it doesn't work anymore. When I go like that, you used to be able to see my green screen through my arms.
Max V in the chat said that was perfect Italian.
That was, yes.
Love it. We have fun here.
Yes. Right.
I am in no way going to attack Jeran's character in terms of if I think that he believes this or if he's being honest. I think that he does believe it. He does feel like he's being honest, and he feels that he's willing to take shots and attacks to do it. So that doesn't really matter. Take all the personal stuff out of it. We're trying to figure out actually like what the truth is. Yes, I went to the south. We went to what is seemingly Antarctica, a giant sheet of ice.
Did you catch a word there doing a lot of very sneaky stuff?
Yeah, he doesn't want to commit to the fact that he was in Antarctica.
Yes, he said we went to seemingly Antarctica. Like, motherfucker, where the fuck do you think you were?
That we were in Antarctica, but I don't know. They could have shipped us to the Vegas sphere and just turned on the AC.
Yeah, but like, even if you let's entertain it for a second, because I live down here, right? I live not too far from Punta Arenas. I mean, it's far, but it's not USA far. So this was December. In all of South America, the only place that you can find snow in December is the very tip of the Andes, because it's hot. There's no snow in December down here. So if you're in Punta Arenas and you take a 4-hour flight, there's nowhere else you can go that has that kind of landscape and weather other than Antarctica. Like, it's just impossible. So no seemingly Witsit, you fucking disgraceful liar.
He doesn't want to commit because that would be detrimental to his conspiracy.
Yeah. But
because he's a dishonest little shit.
Yes, it oozes dishonesty, and he's so disgusting sometimes.
South from Punta Arenas, we saw the sun, and it circled around us, and it didn't go down. So then to claim that proves that it's a globe, I would have to say, if the Earth's a sphere, in the winter, when I go to Antarctica, the sun will be in the sky for 24 hours. Oh, look, sun stays in the sky, does a circle for 24 hours, therefore Earth's a globe. It's a textbook affirming the consequence.
It's not affirming the consequence, because you can frame it. You can frame it that it's just falsifying flat Earth, which is all that they did.
That's their favorite. That's their favorite fallacy, because it's basically this get out of jail free card every single fucking time.
Right, because you formulate your hypothesis, then like, oh, you're affirming the consequence. It's like, no, that's how you do science, you dipshit.
Basically, what it is that you're putting a model to the test. What does the model predict? The flat Earth model predicts that there would not be a 24-hour sun. The globe model predicts that there would be a 24-hour sun. So which model best comports with reality, you dumb piece of shit? Answering that question honestly is not a fallacy. Get your head out of your ass.
Let's say for a second, it did follow textbook what the definition of an affirming the consequent fallacy was. It doesn't, but let's say for a second that it did. You still have to contend with the results that even though the argument fits the form, that it's not just a logical argument. This is an evidence-based argument. You can't just invalidate evidence by crying fallacy like a little girl with it. It doesn't work like that. The only thing that trumps evidence is better evidence, and you have nothing.
Textbook affirm the consequent fallacy. I can say Sasquatch delivers me mail every Friday. I can go find out that there's mail in my mailbox on Friday. Therefore, Sasquatch is real. To apply that type of logic, it is.
Dumbass. I love it when they do. I love it when they do hypotheticals and they're absolute trash. It's like, what? How does that in any way compare to you build a hypothesis, the Earth is a globe, if there should be a 24-hour sun, you go, you test it, the 24-hour sun is there. Toon built with a stick, built a freaking accurate thing that points to exactly where it should be pointing, and someone did the math using the globe for all of that, and it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
Like-
So let's just get people on the same page here. This is an example I think you can find on Wikipedia if I remember reading it correctly, but it says something along the lines of, if someone lives in New York City, they live in New York. So this person lives in New York, therefore they live in New York City. So that is an example of the fallacy, but that's not how the argument is being laid out. So what's actually being done is that we have two competing models, and only one of them made a correct prediction. That is not the same thing as the fallacy that Witsit likes to sleep with on a daily basis. He literally writes it on his pillow, and then he snuggles with it, you know, whispers sweet nothings into its ear, maybe give a little kiss. Look,
when Toon reviewed this, Witsit just threw out 20 random fallacies, just completely unwarranted. The way that he does it, he uses them as a defense mechanism.
Yeah, the affirming the consequent fallacy has been overused, and quite frankly, it fucking sucks. It's like, dude, that's not what's being said. You know that's not what's being said. You know that's not the argument that's being presented. Shut the fuck up.
In the logic says, Witsit debate tactics never the source info. Yeah. It's a little bit like Andrew Wilson. They do a lot of the same scammy tactics rather than. That's why he claims, we don't have a model and that kind of shit.
And infinite regression, you would never find truth. So this is the reason why I haven't flipped, is because of the empirical evidence. And we could list them off, and it's endless, right? Just again, the base empirical position, the default position based on empirical evidence that the Earth's flat. How are we even actually making accurate elevation angle measurements in the center of a continent if we're using a horizontal depth?
We already explained that it's a tangent. This nonsense from Oakley that you can't measure to a curved surface is so stupid.
Yeah,
and I did really like. Sorry, go ahead.
Because apparently tangents don't exist because tangents are very inconvenient.
They're demonic, bro.
Yeah, not only do tangent lines exist, but did you know that there are such things called tangent planes? Ooh. Oh man.
That is scary.
Yes.
That is. We have Isa. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
We're good. Reds, Isa, Reds.
Hello.
I was going to say something. Dave McKeegan did a wonderful video that at the end had a demonstration with curling, applying the rules of curling, how they play the game, how they literally measure from the center of a circle to the stones, which are also circles. So they measure from one point on a curved thing, the center point of a circle, to a stone, a circular stone. So, like, it's used every day. Every day people play curling. So this debunks.
Yeah, they're essentially proud of their geometric illiteracy.
It's wild.
As if that's a badge of honor. No, it's not a badge of honor. Stop treating it like it's a badge of honor. Like, fuck off with this shit.
Do you think that in school they managed, when it came time to build, the 3D shapes, cut a paper so that you can fold it into a square and that kind of stuff, or a pyramid? Do you think that they could ever do that?
No, they were kicked out of school because they were always eating the glue.
That is true. Fortunately, the white one is non-toxic, so they can munch on it
Thank goodness. Otherwise,
all they
otherwise-
want.
otherwise the damage would have been a lot worse.
Yes, an epidemic.
That on the horizontal baseline, it starts at the sea, that's thousands of miles away. We extend that horizontally to the center of a continent and then measure vertical distance above that, perpendicular to it. How is it that planar geometry is perfectly predicting and matching the angle to that star once it's occulted by the mountain?
It's just I know the answer. You're just lying. That's very easy.
Yeah. So here's the thing: if we were to take angled measurements, altitude angle measurements of Polaris from many different points along the Earth, and you were to plot them on a flat Earth, this is objectively the case, by the way, Witsit. Objectively the case. You would get contradictory answers. You would have multiple intersections where that star could realistically be. So is it at this intersection or is that that one? With just 5 points, which is 5 points of measurement within the continental United States, you will see a big fucking problem. And also, given the fact that we're talking about angles, let's also discuss the fact that the EQ telescope mount actually works on a flat Earth. The only place it would work is the North Pole. But since it works fucking everywhere, that's directly because of the geometry of the planet and the angles that you are referring to. So clearly, by the mere fact that the equatorial telescope mount actually works, by that mere fact, we can safely conclude, Witsit, that you are full of shit. Do you see how easy this is when you understand basic trigonometry? Hang on. Do you not see how easy this is when you understand basic trigonometry? Oh, that's good.
Red, did you see the clip of Dearth asking another Flurf how you can sometimes see the moon during the day? How is it that you don't see the sun during the night? Did you see that? Does someone have that clip handy? Could they get it over to me? I don't know if probably I see Spin.
Okay, I'm gonna get a drink. Okay.
Dude, it's true. It happened. So
I don't want to believe you. So I'm just gonna say that was CGI. It's totally fake and blah blah blah.
But I'll show it to you. So we'll see that together. And I also want to show Isa.
It matches the based on the time of the observer standing on the top of the mountain. You can draw a straight line from observer to top of the mountain to star, and it perfectly matches an angle down to a horizontal baseline with planar geometry, where it's significantly different on a globe, but yet the star's not where it's supposed to be. And we can't invoke refraction because it's after the star is occulted.
1 minute.
So I will say, basically, what always happens is people say, well, then how would this work, this work, this work, this work? And if I don't get my answers, then you lose Earth's a globe, as if we are to grant them the presupposition of a model that they have reified. That is not how it works logically. So yes, in conclusion.
Oh, for fuck's sake. It's not a presupposition when you build a model, you douchebag. And it's also not a reification. No one is saying that the model is a real thing. If you're going to use fallacies, at least use them right.
Here's the deal about models. What they are is an attempt to build a map of reality. We have a particular goal. We wish to construct the most accurate map possible. We know that the map is going to be wrong to some extent. We just don't want it to be so wrong that the map becomes useless. However, when we use a flat Earth, the map is useless. However, when we use a globe, the math is accurate enough to the point where you can go to the grocery store and get your food and drive back with pinpoint accuracy. Again, it's not going to know exactly where you are down to the inch, but it'll let you know exactly where you are down to, what, 3 or 4 meters?
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty good. If we were to use the flat Earth for our mapping software and our mapping systems, we would be so fucked. So it is a it is a competition. Which map is more useful? Which map is more accurate? Not completely 100% correct, but which map is more so? And as it turns out, the flat Earth loses just completely. The globe has absolutely dominated that shit.
Peter Markley says, somehow I always picture Red with his feet up on a table and a beer in his hand.
Thank you very much. That might
That
actually
is-
be accurate.
I mean, that is badass if they just picture you like that for just speaking off camera. I'll take that. Flat Earther started a stupid rumor about how I'm a hacker, and I was like, oh, dude, that makes me look really well. I'll lean into that heavily. And Mike from the drug
you're a
debunker.
hacker. Okay, cool.
Yes.
They say the same shit about me, about being, you know, this master CGI artist, and it's like, bitch, I don't even have Photoshop. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, the stuff, some of the stuff that you do, it takes actually more work to animate that and make that in CGI than actually just grab a telescope and take the damn picture.
I mean, I don't want to derail the conversation, so I'll try not to. I'll try to be brief on this, but I have rules that I hold myself to when I'm, you know, making my astronomical images or taking my videos and stuff like that. I have rules that I stick to, and that is so that I can present my stuff with confidence and in a way that they can't argue against. If you want me to go into details, I will, but I'm just going to leave it there so that we can continue on with the video.
Yes. Isa, listen to this. Oh my God, this is so good.
You know, the moon shows up at night, and sometimes it shows up during the day.
It's about 50% of the time at night and about 50% of the time during the day, Dave. Amazing.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
How come the sun never shows up at night?
Oh my God.
That is flat Earth.
What an idiot. What? Oh my gosh.
So, Red, given that you do astrological observations, you seem to think you know that what the sky is all about. Why don't you let us peasants know why doesn't the sun come out at night?
You know what? I think the reason why the sun doesn't come out at night is because the Earth is flat. I think that's the only logical conclusion. I don't think there's any way of getting around it. So that means that, of course, as a consequence of that they're definitely putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs gay.
Yes. And that turns off the refraction.
Yes, that
so
refraction can be shut off just because you want it to be. That there are in fact hot singles in your area.
Yes, and they want to meet you.
They want to meet you. All the cuties want a piece of your pole.
And they just need your credit card number to make sure that you are an actual person.
And also that Nigerian prince, totally legit.
Yes, you will get those diamonds he promised, 100%.
All the diamonds, all the gold.
The Earth
and also let's be clear here. And what this also means is that your penis is just massive, girthy, juicy, just strong as hell. Your nuts are fat. Just you are a gift to all women everywhere at all times. That's just how that works, man.
Donny PW says that was even better than spectroscopy needs a container. I agree.
Stationary.
In conclusion, I think we answered the question by saying that the reason why the sun doesn't come out at night is because big dicks. There you go.
Yes. Yes.
Massive,
Very topographical planet.
massive penises.
Huge dongs. Yeah, godlike, I would say.
The burden of proof is on the other side. It needs to prove it. And when there's direct geometric reputations to that claim, they cannot be hand waved because there's another celestial observation that you think is better explained by that model that was just refuted. Right? We can't actually skip over to that part. So that is very simply my position, and I think that it's based on the logical parameters of how we actually examine the discussion in the first place. So
bullshit.
Bullshit. One of the worst openings I have ever seen in my life in any kind of topic whatsoever. It was just you crying about fallacies. And the only thing that you mentioned was the celestial theodolite, which it's such bullshit.
It's a total straw man of what our arguments actually are. And his straw man interpretation of our arguments would be fallacies. It's a good thing we're not making those arguments.
Yeah.
We're actually having a competition between two competing models. Your model, Witsit, just sucks ass. And you are just so full of cope. So full of cope. And I mean, you just don't want to accept that.
It oozes like just.
Yeah. I mean, I feel sorry for your shower because it has to put up with all that. Like, does it clog your drain? Do you need to call a plumber on a frequent basis?
Probably. And I don't know if you've thought about this, but the interaction between the lights in the sky don't prove the shape of the ground, and now they're flipping, and it's like, oh yeah, see, look, the lights in the sky, they prove the shape of the ground. Like, how hypocritical do you have to be?
I've been saying this shit since 2018. What you observe above your head can tell you a lot about what is under your feet. And it all comes back to how we observe. So for example, if I can observe the stars with an equatorial telescope mount and not completely waste my time in the process, guess what? The earth ain't flat.
Yep.
They just don't want to accept that because basic geometry is apparently part of the conspiracy.
Yes. The Greeks were in on it from the beginning of geometry.
Yeah, I did it again. Hang on. Oh, God damn it. Basic trigonometry. Oh, so fucking hot. Show me the angle of that theta.
Peter said, so full of coke, but at least it's coke zero sugar.
At least it's coke zero sugar. Jesus Christ.
All right, thank you, Austin. All right, gentlemen, the next part of the debate is the rebuttals. And so we're going to afford Jeran 7 minutes to rebut to what he just heard.
So this is just me presenting myself. Okay, gotcha. It's not asking questions. That'll be okay, gotcha.
I'm just going to respond to what Austin said.
Okay, thanks.
let me add you to the full screen. All right, you're good.
Okay, so the issue I have there.
Oh, check this out. Icy Creative says, this is good. Dual cell toroidal system. So what we see is a projection of the black sun in the black hole center, which forms a torus, which centripetal and centrifugal forces cancel a lot at the equator and at the. Oh, that is some primo word salad right there. That could be refined into powder and snorted.
Hang on 1 second. Hang on. Okay, I got my bottle of ranch right here. We're ready to rock and roll.
I prefer croutons with my word salad personally. So, but yeah, grab them bottles. This Icy Creative is deep in the sauce.
There is not enough ranch
in the world.
The way Austin's describing it, he's saying that if nobody can explain how something works, well, it doesn't mean it's not true. But we would never get to the truth if that were the case. If the case were that anything could be true, even if it doesn't have any explanation, doesn't explain anything, but somebody just says, well, I think it's true. Because that's basically what he's saying, is that if we have different ideas on the shape of the earth, he's saying it doesn't make it.
What happened? Oh, he just dumb.
I was muted.
Oh.
We're going to have some guest jump
Dumbass. No, I mean it happens to everyone, but it's just fun to poke at him.
Again, so
Yeah.
we'll play these rebuttals because actually I want to hear me like list off the fallacies as well that he in the rebuttal, and then we will go from there.
Oh God,
Dude,
damn it!
Galley,
Great.
I mean,
Now I have to teach this motherfucker philosophy. Fuck.
yes, I mean he thinks he's good at this, but
He's
so,
not. He's just a fucking liar. It's like,
yes.
oh, I'm just going to twist what anyone says to me as an affirming the consequent fallacy
Or
every
lie
single
about-
fucking time.
lie about the science, hold internally contradictory positions. Oh, one thing I was going to tell you when we were talking about gravity, he says it's electrostatics, and he says, like literally word for word, everything is intrinsically electrostatics, bro, which is an implicit admission of the atomic model that everyone agrees with. But then in the next breath, he will say atomic theory is retarded, bro, because he doesn't understand internal contradictions. You can't affirm both. You can't have
honestly,
intermolecular bonds if you don't have molecules and atoms. It's just a fact.
the best thing about this is that I don't even need to delve into the gravity side of things. Basically, just for the sake of moving on from this shit, I just give them everything. Okay, gravity is magical unicorn farts. Fine. I don't give a shit because I don't need gravity to talk about geometry. This is a question of geometry. What is the shape of the Earth? Not the physics that made it a sphere, just is it a sphere? And can we measure that? And the answer is yes, we can measure that. We have multiple times. Hell, sometimes you motherfuckers accidentally discovered that it was a sphere. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob, indeed. Max M says, Witsit is literally a terrible debater, bro. I agree. And Ashton Richard reminds us that Witsit also doesn't believe in germs. Because why not, right?
they pointed out what I was already noticing, that like I didn't really fix my hair, and it looked way better in the debate. I'm like, yeah, thanks for
Yeah, Witsit, you're balding. It's okay.
And you know what? You
Confirming.
just gotta rock it. Listen,
Yes, just shave your head, wear your beard. It's fine.
Just a true fact. I am bald as fuck. And you know what I did? I own that shit.
Me
Not
too.
only do you own it, I bought these like golden razors, and it just glides. And let me tell you something. That is a scalpgasm. That shit feels so good.
Yeah.
That is the best feeling. That a fresh blade in the shower and just yes, just feel that.
And then you're like smooth,
nice and
like a cube.
Nice and smooth and clean. It's like it is
glorious.
It is glorious.
Eric Burns says, my favorite Witsit debate move is when he talks geocentrism and brings up the axis of evil, literally part of the Big Bang Theory. Yes, he doesn't do well with being internally consistent in his argument. He will say whatever he has to try and win a point. And the problem that gets you is that gets you in those internal contradictions all the time.
And quite honestly, I would much rather Witsit be a geocentrist, because at least he would understand that the Earth is round.
That is true. But in his mind, it's geocentrism and flat Earth. Who knows how the fuck works?
Who knows what's going to happen next? But, you know, as I said previously, it's like these motherfuckers have accidentally discovered the globe so many times that they feel forced into this position of, well, sometimes we may have to bring up geocentrism. Because what else are you going to do in that case? I mean, when they did their fucking flashlight through the board thing where Jearnism said interesting like 75 million times, and then when you had Bob Nodell discover the rotation of the Earth, is like, bro, you motherfuckers not only discovered that the Earth is round, but that bitch is rotating. So, like, you should do yourself a favor and shut the fuck up now.
Yeah, one of my favorite when Witsit starts just like flat out lying about the Mickelson Morley, is bring out the paper, and Witsit's argument just falls apart because he says, "Oh, the Mickelson Morley proved that the Earth was stationary." In the first paragraph, it admits that the Earth is moving. In like the first, you don't even need to read the paper. Just like 2 sentences in, it debunks your stupid lie about how the Mickelson Morley works.
So actually, Max, I want to run a brief experiment with you. Okay.
All right.
If you don't have a ball with you, that's fine. Just imagine you're holding one.
I do not, but I can imagine holding a ball. Yes.
Okay, so you're holding a ball. Now imagine that there is a table in front of you, and I want you to put that ball on the table.
On the table.
Okay, so the ball's on the table. Is the ball moving relative to the table?
No.
Has it stopped being a ball?
Nope.
So why the fuck is motion even being considered when we're talking about the shape of the fucking Earth?
That is a great simple gotcha. That is good. I hadn't thought of that.
It is
What I was just thinking.
fucking people.
So there's like, it's just like a short rebuttal. So we're listening to his rebuttal, and then I do a rebuttal where I like go through the fallacies he says, and then we'll bring on guests. We start going back and forth. We'll get into like the specific arguments.
Difference if one of them makes all the predictions and the other one makes none, because simply because you don't know how it works doesn't mean it's false. Oh, then that would be true for anything. So I think we live on a dog, and then you might say, well, that wouldn't work. How could we live on a dog? And I'd say, well, just because you don't understand how it works doesn't mean it's not true. So I mean, we could do that forever. We could live on anything. Then I mean, there's no, you have a group of things that you look at, and then you find out which one better matches the observations. Now, for me, the flat Earth better matches observations when you're talking about the Earth looks flat. It operates and appears flat. And everything we do is with the flat Earth. That's because no matter where you're at, it's flat. So you can treat the Earth completely and totally like it's a flat plane, and that's how you best do it.
Oh my God, another blink here. Milo Aaron says, Jeran, blink twice if you have a gun to your head. How stupid are they?
Here's the thing, and just full disclosure, I don't like Jeran.
Oh yeah, I was going to mention that. Yes, I know.
Yeah,
you guys.
I do not like Jeran, and I'm being put in a situation where I'm going to have to defend that dishonest piece of shit. Oh boy. Hell has truly frozen over. Never in my wildest fucking dreams would I have pictured myself actually coming to the defense of Jeranism. Listen, I believe, and I could be wrong on this, but I believe that Jeranism has been a globie for a long time. I think this was just a grift for him, and that's my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but if he's saying the right things now, he's saying the right things now, and I will explain how he is correct. But do not get confused. I still don't like that dishonest piece of shit. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind.
I totally get that. I was going to actually ask you about that next.
Yeah. Just keep that in mind. I still think he's a piece of shit, and I'm okay with that.
Let me ask you this then. Do you think he did well as far as this debate goes?
Wait, repeat the question.
Do you think he did well as far as this debate goes with Witsit?
Well, to be honest, I haven't heard too much of it, so let's keep playing, and I'll give you my honest assessment.
You got it.
Do it when you're flying a plane, when you're building a bridge, when you're building a canal. If you took the curvature of the Earth into account, it wouldn't make any sense because where we build is level. So we use a spirit level where we're at, and that is a level plane where it is. And yes, down the road that way or that way are not quite still level with where you're at, but that's not needed in any walk of life. We don't ever look down the way and say, oh, how do we line up with that? We just build a canal. We just build a bridge. We just build where we're at. We use a spirit level, and that's how it works on a sphere. You said that, I guess where I was confused.
I mean, I would tend to generally agree, but then you do have examples of, for example, I have the engineering papers for LIGO that show you that LIGO is straight, but it's not level because it's so long. So depending on the actual construction in general for like a building, a shopping mall, you don't really, and you artificially flatten a huge portion that it doesn't even make sense to consider it like that. But the curve is there, you can measure it.
Yeah, so let me just address a comment in the live chat. Come on, Reds. If you have evidence to support that claim, then present it. But let's not act like flat earthers and make claims and accusations without cause. Here's the thing. This is my opinion. Please explain to me how I'm supposed to provide evidence for an opinion. This thing is called an opinion for a reason. Do you understand the definition of an opinion? Let's try to be. Let's put on our thinking caps. If you need to go to Google and type in, please define opinion. I'm sure you can learn a little bit just by Googling it.
Fugazi 500 says, I was watching a debate with Red Rhetoric while they were launching a rocket from Cape Canaveral, the irony. And Icy Creative finished up his message from before. Let me remind you. Oh no, he's burged out. Like, okay, dual cell toroidal system. So what we see is a projection of the black sun in the black hole center, which forms a torus with which centripetal and centrifugal forces cancel a lot at the equator. And the south is where the second tourist goes in loops around. Everything circles the vortex in ethic, but I think he meant etheric. Even Starlink is up there. It's so simple to explain. I don't know why nobody's got a system down yet. Lindsay, I have tried to explain this multiple times, and all the ancient mystery schools taught it. It's a center point, 0 point energy field in an invisible black hole under the North Star, the gateway of Polaris, which is why Masonry and Hiram Abiff is the high ram above the pole of Aries. Wow. None of that is in any kind of way. Holy fuck.
What the fuck was that shit? Like, that is
primo. That is weapons grade word salad.
Max, you son of a bitch. I am already out of ranch. I only had so much ranch and now I've used all of it. I now have to go to the store and buy more ranch.
That's this stream has been like that all the time.
If all observations match predictions, then that's where you live. So I don't know how to better explain this. Is that if you're given a map of your apartment complex and you're asking, hey, where's the laundry room? And they say, here's a map. And outside of your door, they show a pool, but there's no pool in front of you. You can then at that point take the map back to the office and say, this map is incorrect because it doesn't match observations. So we have a map like that. It's called the AE map, and it no longer matches the observations. Therefore, you can take it back to the office and say,
pause it
hey,
right here.
This map doesn't work.
Yes.
God, I fucking hate this shit, but Jeranism is right. Yes. That is exactly what I've been saying this entire. I'm not going to say that he got that shit from me, but I'm just going to strongly lean in that direction because that is exactly correct. If you have a map and that map does not comport with reality, the map is wrong. And remember what our job is. Our job is to construct the most accurate map possible. We know it's going to have a few errors. No map is perfect, but it's a competition. Everything is competing against everything else, and one stands above all others. The globe best comports with reality. Again, not perfectly, but it's the best one. And if it's accurate to 99.999999999%, that's pretty fucking good. It's like, oh, but this island is shaped weird in this map when in reality it's shaped slightly less weird. Yeah, there's going to be those minuscule errors, but it's nothing compared to the ginormous fuck up that is the flat Earth map.
But for example, with the current techniques of cartography, where you can actually get like actual images from space and stitch them together in a 3D like real representation, the margins of error of traditional cartography that just like I ordered a mouse today. This mouse, thank you, Emma, love you. She helped me purchase this yesterday. And the website, it's kind of like Amazon for South America. It's called Mercado Libre, right? And every time I order from there, shit arrives to my house. So our systems that are based on the globe work every day, and every day is a test. So when you talk about affirming the consequent with it, why do you ignore the mountains of evidence that every time someone presses order on Amazon and they actually get their package, it's debunking flat Earth?
Yeah,
Every
and you're
single
right.
time.
Every day, our map is put to the test. And you're also correct that there is continuous refinement as technology improves. So now we get direct images from space, satellite imagery. Just look at Google Maps. You can get a satellite view of that shit. And so not only is it more accurate than ever before, what is the resolution? I think it's like 1 pixel is like accurate down to 12 inches, like down to the foot. I mean, it can tell, like, it will show you at one point in time what parking space you were parked in. That's how fucking accurate this shit is now. And that was because we had a mission for ourselves, which was to construct the most accurate map possible. And I'm pretty sure we got that fucker locked down.
Yeah. It's wild. Max V says, guys, I repeat, do not watch the new War of the Worlds remake on Amazon Prime starring Ice Cube. Thank you for the PSA.
I just actually noticed it because I've been streaming on Amazon, so
I mean,
I'm on Amazon Prime, so I noticed. I was like, oh, is this new?
Hang on, let me.
If you trust Max's judgment, I would say don't watch it.
I'm not going to watch it because, again, starring Ice Cube, that just sounds weird. Anyway, let me just respond to this one more time, and I'm not going to derail the conversation anymore after this. Yes, I understand that's your opinion, Reds. I wasn't trying to attack you. Just want us to hold ourselves to a higher standard than the Flurfs. How am I holding myself to a lower standard? Holding myself to a lower standard than flat earthers would be me to just simply lie to you and to tell you what you want to hear. Oh yeah, Jeranism is totally legit and never once bullshitted his viewers into believing something that he himself genuinely did not believe. And while we're at it, let's say that he has a massive penis, the sheer girth and the juiciness. I mean, that motherfucker needed, like to exercise just to lift his massive dong. I could say all this shit to you and it would be something that you want to hear. But since I'm not a dishonest prick, I'm not going to lie to you about my opinion. If that's not holding myself to a higher standard, then I'm sorry, your standards are fucked.
Well, I actually have a question. There's something it's been bothering me a little bit about Jeranism. So,
okay.
And I don't know what Reds thinks about this, but if someone really believes something and then they convert to a different belief, would you wholesale completely change your belief, or would you just change certain elements of your belief and try to retain the majority of your belief? Like, I don't know. It just seems it's hard for me to fully get, because it just sounds like he's like, I'm just going full Glober model now, instead of being like, well, I'm just going to accept this piece, but the rest of my flat earth model will remain. But I'm going to take the piece that I saw from this and then incorporate that into my space. This is just something that's been kind of, I don't know, like, if I'm trying to imagine if I were in these shoes, if I was a flat earther, because you remember I played a flat earther before. I wish we could watch that because that's really funny when I was the flat earther. But if I were in that mindset and I really believed in flat earth, I think there would be several routes that I would take. Like, if I actually saw this thing happen, I think one route would be that I would go in total denial and just say this didn't happen, like, or there's something, it can't be that way because I have to hold my worldview. So there's some excuse to get me out of it, right? Another route would be, I'll be like, okay, I believe in my worldview because I've been believing this forever, but I'm going to change certain elements from that. But I'm going to maintain the rest of the worldview. And I guess the third one could be that you're just like, well, the entire worldview collapses and then I just take a new worldview. But I think I would be in extreme trauma. Like if I really believe this, like how I've seen how flat earthers take this belief system, it would be devastating, I think, for me. Like if I had to give up this worldview that I've invested my time, my life, my soul into, the community, it would be really, really hard to just give that all away. So it's difficult for me. It's difficult for me. I'm having some issues with this.
Let me make sure I understand where you're coming from, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I do want to genuinely understand where you're coming from. So are you saying that you find Jearnism's sudden shift to be suspect? Like you imagine that for someone to truly shed their old flat earth ways or their old flat earth beliefs, that it would take a little longer, that this sudden shift is a little bit, it just seems a little off. Is that where you're going with this?
That's what I felt. And when you started talking, I was like, this is something that I've been thinking about. I'm like, this complete like heel shift it would be hard for me if I were in the same shoes. That's just what I'm thinking.
There is a possibility here, and I want to give two things here. One, you are entirely correct that this is cause for concern. I would give you that. However, there's also an argument that it's not actually a cause for concern. This shit could have been gnawing at him for the longest time. And even though he may not have verbally expressed it, he would have been like slowly, he was slowly acquiring doubt about the flat earth position. And what he needed was that final nail in the coffin, that thing that just sent him over the edge. Because let me put to you this way. I'll describe it in terms of an analogy. So you're walking towards the edge of a really tall building. So you're getting closer to the edge, but you're still many stories up. You're still where you are. You get a little closer. Well, you're still many stories up. You get a little closer. You're still many stories up. The inevitable is approaching, but you're still many stories up. And then finally, you take one step too many and you crash all the way to the ground. That shit could happen when it comes to this space. It is a possibility. And this is where most individuals are with their opinions of Jearnism's, let's call it a transformation. They believe that this shit was slowly gnawing at him, but he just didn't have enough to fall all the way to the ground. He didn't get close enough to the edge to finally go over the damn thing. So when he saw the 24-hour sun, that was enough of a nudge to push him the rest of the way to where he did fall all the way to the ground. And then he finally bumped his head, was able to think straight and be like, oh, wait, basic trigonometry is a thing. Imagine that. And now he is of the opinion that the earth is round, and now he is confident in saying these things because he's actually been thinking about it for a very, very, very long time.
So you're saying it's like the straw that the camel's the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yes.
Yeah, I can tell you. I've heard the story from Jeran because I interviewed him after the TFE. But Stop the Stupidity gifted 5 Yerba Mate Talks memberships, and also said, "Good evening. Hope all is well. We were doing great until you came, and it became even better." And the memberships went to Hannah Anderson, the Captain, Tim Hunter, Eric Burns, and Eric E, Master of Flat Earth. Great aim there, and thank you so much. All right. So, Isa, the story kind of goes like this. Jeran got selected to go to TFE, and as soon as he kind of tentatively accepted to go to put his beliefs to the tests, Flat Earthers started turning on him. So we have like one conflict there. Then someone else, Austin Thompson, who goes by Melodome, started doing a series of 1-year sun observations with a solar filter. So he started doing that, taking a picture of the sun with a solar filter every day. And time started passing by. The attacks started being more vicious on Jeran. Melodome kept with his observations, and the evidence for the globe kept piling up on how the sun has sunspots that rotate, and how the motion, when you look at the sunspots, the motion of the earth and the axis of the earth becomes like super obvious. So Jeran was dealing with both. Now we have two conflicts. The sun observations from his friend are pointing to a globe, and the flat earthers are now just like fully going wild, attacking him just over going to Antarctica and saying how it is actually important, how it would debunk it would falsify the AE map and all that kind of stuff. So then the trip time arrives, and they, maybe in their flat earther mind, they're kind of trying to justify, oh, it will get canceled at the last minute. Something will happen. They would never let us go to Antarctica, stuff like that. So the time comes, and they're packing up to get ready, gearing up to go to Antarctica, and it's happening, and it's going. And the nights before, they had seen the light of the sun looking at the south, and in the middle of the night at like 12 p.m., 12 a.m., 1 a.m., you could see the twilight over there in the south going across the water to the point where the sun will rise the next day. And that's another conflict. Like, how the fuck is the sun over there? That's just like literally impossible on a flat earth. So they go to Antarctica. The 24-hour sun is there. The globers are doing all kinds of science, measuring lines of longitude. They have everything they need. And Jeran and Austin, Jeran did, I think, a solar filter observation of the sun with the equatorial mount. So Jeran had some stuff ready. But they were completely outmatched by the globe in the amount of things that they went down there to do. So MC Toon did a bunch of experiments. Dave McKean helped. Critical Think did measurements of gravity and all of that. And meanwhile, Witsit was complaining about how he didn't get enough sleep.
Yeah,
so
didn't he also,
it was. Yes,
didn't he also like fail to get an SD card of all things?
An SD card. He took he made a stream before. Witsit made a stream before going on the trip, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I have a GoPro here, but it has a little bit of rust or something like that, so I don't know if it will work." And he didn't test the equipment. Like, it was a shit show, the difference. So when all of that starts to break, and while they are in Antarctica, some of the stupidest shit starts being said about how everything is fake, about how they're in a studio, and that piles on to the community already turning on him. And now they're just like literally inventing stuff. Imagine you're sitting in the ice of Antarctica and your own community starts saying, you are lying. You're not where you say you are. That is harsh. So it's a shit show of stuff that changed Jeran's mind.
I would say it's karma.
I
would say it's karma, which is why it's funny when you hear Witsit complaining about it. It's like,
that is true,
motherfucker, you've been saying this shit. You taught them to do this.
Yes, that is true.
This is what you did. You had multiple live streams, literally teaching people how to do this because you were leading by example. Everything you don't like is fake or CGI, or now the new excuse is going to be AI. Everything's AI. Everything's AI generated.
Yeah.
Because AI is much better than anything CGI could be because of how easy it is to do. So now we have to deal with that bullshit.
Yeah. Ashton Richard gave me the word that I was looking for, which is corrosion. Thank you so much. So yeah, that's the story, Isa. So it was a process. And then after, when the attacks got so much more vicious, he started doing streams debunking flat Earth. So
yeah, that's fair.
It's been a wild ride for him.
both are possibilities. So yes, you do have a point. One would expect that it would take time for somebody, that you would see a slow and gradual shift and not this sudden change. But I believe it is possible that you could be experiencing that slow and gradual change, but just not expressing it
within yourself.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you're
So
just
having
not expressing it, and that could be out of fear. It could be out of embarrassment. There's many reasons why you wouldn't want to immediately express it, and this was also the case with me when I guess lost my faith. I didn't want to accept that I was no longer a Christian, or in my case, a Roman Catholic. I didn't want to, just come out with it. And then all of a sudden it was like, you know what, I'm sick of this shit. And, the rest is, as they say, history.
Right.
But looking from the outside in, you wouldn't have known that something was slowly eating away at me until I just came out and said it. For you, it would have been very sudden, like, whoa, where did this come from? When it was bubbling up for years.
Yeah, exactly. And in this case, you add up a bunch of external factors just pushing you like, oh, yeah, this is the right choice, when people are just making 4-hour live streams, just inventing Antarctic studios and looking at how there's no footprints in the snow. And then like you move the footage a little and you can see trails of footprints, and like the tractor and the whole vehicle's tracks in the snow. It's just asinine. Right, let's carry on a little bit with this.
Work anymore. And then you can take the globe and you can say, well, how about this one? And Austin mentioned going down to 80 degrees and seeing Punta Arenas and blah, blah, blah. And then he said, but that doesn't mean that the Earth's a sphere. Well, what it points out is that every single location that you or I have ever been to, and I dare say every single location that anybody watching this debate has been to, matches the observations given to us by mapping the Earth on a sphere. It does not match any flat plane, doesn't match any cylinder or pyramid. It matches a sphere. The Earth is mapped on a sphere. You can call any of your friends, no matter where they live, and ask them, hey, can you go check and see if the sunrise, sunset comport to this model and this prediction? And their answer every single time will be yes. We have Google Earth, which has never been disproven by one person. It doesn't get the angles of the sunrise and sunset wrong. It gets them right, and it's based on a sphere model. You talked about the celestial theodolite, but you need stellarium to even talk about it. So again, now you're using a globe Earth spherical system in order.
Yonderstone became a new member. Thank you so much. You now have such amazing emojis as the sun is not object one, and Witsit humbly bro, Isa in the hospital, and a bunch of stuff. The other thing I wanted to tell you, Isa, is that Jeran took it in steps. He first said, okay, the Earth is a globe. I don't care about gravity. I don't care about any of the other side conversations, but it's undeniable that the Earth is a globe. And then he started kind of tackling the moon landing denials. And he did about like 3 weeks of streams with Dave McKeegan. And he finally accepted that, yeah, the moon landings are real. So he's going through a process, and he's now seeing that a lot of what they do is just say, oh, yeah, this is fake and gay, and just move on. So, yeah, that's kind of a little bit of what happened there. Oh, pish posh, don't give me compliments, because I'll believe that. And it will go to my head. Just berate me a little bit. You can give me a little bit of both. That's kind of the sweet spot that I like. But Yonderstone says, I've been a long fan. Max, you're awesome. Thank you so much. You are too. And Fugazi says, my wife adores Max. You're super kind. Thank you so much.
To tell me that the Earth is flat by using the numbers that the sphere system gives you. I'm not even going to go down that road. That seems to be preposterous on its face. Electrical field on the Earth. I don't know what you mean by linear distribution. You mean that it's, I guess I don't know what you mean. It goes up in a linear fashion, I guess is what you mean. So I don't know why that wouldn't work on a...
That works just the same, right? If it's a linear distribution on a plane, you just get flat layers, like a cake. If it's a linear distribution on a sphere, they're just concentric spheres. It's not that hard. It's not that hard at all.
Sphere, as I said, wherever you're at, is level. So therefore, above my head would be a linear progression of electrical field. Doesn't make a difference if the Earth's a sphere because it doesn't matter for where I'm at. You said we went south. We had a giant sheet of ice. Yeah, we did. But you have to remember, we saw the sun south of us, and that refutes any flat Earth that's ever existed and will ever exist. That's the thing that people don't realize about this flat Earth. There'll never be another map, not for the rest of your life, not for the rest of your children's lives. There is no other way to map the Earth on a flat plane other than the AE map. That's it. And once the AE map has been falsified, we're done. It's time to get out. So you can go back to the drawing board if you want and play around. I did that for 6 months and realized that's it. There's no more. If the sun circles in Antarctica, then it matches all observations of the sphere, and that's what it did. And the you said about the firming, the consequent. Where I'm confused on that is, haven't you said before, Nathan Oakley and many people, they all say that the R value has been falsified, that the globe has been falsified. When you ask them why, they say if the Earth is a sphere of blankety blankety blank, and right, and then it's distance to the horizon is 1.22 times the square root of right. Then the Earth's so then they're doing the same thing. So now the number one evidence of the flat Earth that you guys use, the black swan, is in affirming the consequent. You just said that. If it's not, then why can't somebody say if the Earth is a sphere and the sun does this, then we would see this in the south, and we see that, therefore the Earth is a sphere. If that's,
I think this is one of the things that makes Jeran particularly effective at attacking the flat Earth, because this is, I hadn't never thought about this in particular. This is a great argument. He's taking the black swan and just transforming it and using it against them, and there is like literally no rebuttal. And they, you know, how long have they used the black swan? So that objection of it's an affirming the consequent, just based on the form of the argument, that is just moot.
It's funny that their best evidence for a flat Earth is an attempt to toss shit at the globe. It's like, can't the flat Earth just stand on its own merits? No, you essentially have to. You have to prop up the flat Earth only by bringing the globe down, because you know the globe is in the lead.
Yeah, and it's a sequence of pictures where like you see the crane in the first picture and it's like that. It's horizontal, and you see the crane in the picture that they bring up, and it's shaped like an S.
Oh, yeah.
It has refraction both ways.
This is a textbook case of cherry picking. Let me go out on the shittiest day with the most amount of refraction and then lie about it. Because yeah, I do remember seeing that crane. It looks like a weird J. Like it's literally it's literally all like, it looks like the crane is mangled. It's like it's all fucked up and shit. It's like you can clearly tell there is a fuck ton of refraction out there. Wouldn't you want to go out on a clear day with minimal refraction to see what the fuck is actually going on?
Yeah. Fugazi 500 says, I've been trying to hook Max up with my sister-in-law. I just gotta get her husband on a boat ride to the middle of Lake Michigan. I mean, a divorce will do, and I tell you that I accept.
Well, hang on, Max. We've been doing this thing for how long now? I mean, I thought we were exclusive, is all I'm saying.
There's plenty. I mean, look, I'm Latino, so there's plenty of me to go around. I have lots of love to give.
I mean, if you say so, all I'm saying is I'm expecting you home by 8.
That's not allowed, then neither is saying that the horizon is a little bit higher than it should be on that black swan. Which, by the way, I believe that guy Bo, who did that observation, says that he went out there every day for 6 months, and then he saw that observation. So now the flat Earth is using a 1 day out of 6 month observation and going around telling people that that's proof that the Earth has been falsified. That's a joke.
Wait,
it's a literal
that
joke
real quick.
that we would ever think an anomaly.
Yeah.
So, assuming that's true, that backs up exactly what I said. This is a textbook case of cherry picking. They're literally picking the worst possible days.
Yeah.
It's like if you are that dishonest, how the fuck do you even look at yourself in the mirror? Because when I did my observation of Tampa, it was imperative that I go out on the best of days, on the clearest of days, with no refraction whatsoever, if I could get away with it. But these motherfuckers are doing the exact opposite. Let me find the shittiest day imaginable. What the fuck?
Yeah. For example, one thing they like to bring up a lot is this one, or Mount Canigou, this picture, record line of sight. But if you go here if you just put Vicky Gaspar record picture, one of the first results is a blog from the guy that did it. And it basically explains that refractive favorable circumstances, and somewhere around it tells how they went there before a couple of times. And here you have like a sequence. You have picture with wide angle, the missing silhouettes just a few minutes before sunrise and after the sunrise. And in the meantime, they took the this record picture. But the dude had to be like there, like a sniper, just sitting and waiting. Caught the picture, and the moment was gone.
Yep, exactly. It really was a case of lucky imaging. So there has been like,
oh shit!
I've seen multiple photos come out of the Black Swan, and it's one of those things where it's pretty clear that they went out on a very bad day, because just look at the crane. Just look on the crane. The least they could have done is at least Photoshop the damn crane to be straight again.
Yeah. So
like if you're going to cherry pick, why just stop at cherry picking? Why not just fake the entire fucking thing?
Right. So this is what I was showing before. I just didn't swap the thing, but to make it sure, and I'll share the link to everyone. This is his blog in English. He actually has He actually has a website in Spanish also, which is very interesting. And I brought this up to one Flurf one time, and he was crashing out like, "This is not the author of the picture." He's like, "Okay, sure, whatever you say. You're just coping and crying."
Meaning that one day out of, what would it be, 180, has an observation that makes the Earth flat. And so we're going to go around telling people, look, the globe Earth has been falsified because of an anomaly. That's crazy. So I think if you have different ideas about the shape of the Earth, which we did, again, I thought that the South was a lie. I thought that they were lying about the southern 24-hour sun. I thought they were lying about what happens south of the 60. That's why I thought they had the Antarctic Treaty. And guess what? I was wrong. When we go down there, we saw that the angles match perfectly.
Look, man, obviously what everyone's thinking is, bruh, if you thought stuff like that, then why didn't you say anything before now?
But he did. For 6 months before, he did say that. He did say all of that. Witsit, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, just like with a blindfold and covering his ears and just like la 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 in a fart cloud. Witsit, what the fuck?
Fart cloud. Yep.
Do you not know like the answer to the stuff you're saying? Like, yeah, on every once in a while you get really clear days and you can see way further. On the clearer days, then you can see way further and see what's really there. So
how is that an argument or a rebuttal, or you're not saying anything?
You got to understand, Max, that sometimes Witsit just likes to say words.
That is true. Yes.
Now, do you remember? I don't know if you heard of this guy before, but he's a guy by the name of Donald Trump.
Sounds familiar. Yeah, orange guy. Familiar.
So actually, Witsit took one thing he said to heart, which was, "I know all the words, all the best words."
All the best words. That's
exactly.
You know,
so now
I was thinking about just that. Yes.
So Witsit is channeling the same energy.
Our Lord and Savior DJT. Yes.
And it just takes one, right? That's why it's called. This is like saying, "Oh, that he had to go 6 months to find it," as if it's a refutation of the Black Swan. Shows you don't fully understand why it's called the Black Swan. Dude,
Witsit, you can just be coping like that and saying Jeran doesn't understand.
But isn't he kind of admitting that they did just cherry pick. Like it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's called the Black Swan because we know it's a rare event. Okay, so what you're saying is it's not the norm, and you're still spewing this shit?
Yeah, 100%. But that's what that's why I kind of insist that Witsit has no idea how to keep track of internal claims, and that's why he gets a lot of internal contradictions like this one. He's not smart. That's why I call him dummy.
Yep. And also, let me respond to something real quick in the chat. Real Sickness, I'm with Reds in that he knew at some level since way before TFE that his derp was bullshit and it was just the optimal off ramp, but at least he's doing the right thing now. I will tell you this. Yes, he is saying all the right things now, and I truly hope he keeps it up. Maybe one day I'll see him on Dr. Phil. But he is most definitely saying the right things, and I hope he continues to do that.
No, that's good. That's good. And coming from you at what you said just a few minutes ago, like you still don't like him very much.
I hate the motherfucker. I mean, I'm sorry. He's still a piece of shit in my book, but he's saying he's a piece of shit that's saying the right things. I'm not gonna. If he's saying that, look. When you build a map, we're trying to build an accurate map of reality, and the flat Earth fails. He's right. He's right. Just because I think he's an asshole doesn't mean he's wrong. I mean, he's saying all the right things, and also he's making Witsit cope like a motherfucker, which is an added bonus.
I want to ask a question. Why are you so hostile towards him? Like, what did he do in his channel and his work that makes you feel, you know, where you don't trust him? And because you've used some very intense language, so I'm just curious about your journey with that.
Gather around, kids. It's story time. Let me put on like that.
How much time do we have?
Limitless. So I'll put you in the middle right there. Go ham.
Okay, so it all started when I was born. Okay, that joke, we're just gonna let that hang in the air. So here's the thing about Jeran. I initially started speaking to Jeran back in 2015. He came on an old channel of mine that I believe still exists. It wasn't mine, it was a friend's, but I think it still exists. It was a channel called 13 Heathens. I still gotta find that fucking hangout. But at the beginning, he was actually embarrassed to come forward with something. He was saying a whole bunch of weird shit in this conversation that we were having. And finally, he just said something, and I don't know why. It just made me ask the question. It's like, wait a minute. Do you think the Earth is flat, JC? Because at the time he was called JC Canby. That was his screen name. And he hesitated. And he was like considering his answer. And he was like, well, yeah. And there was like sincere embarrassment in his voice, like absolute sincere embarrassment for saying those things. And as the conversation progressed, you know, I, of course, asked, well, why do you think these things? And then he said, well, no one's been able to answer these questions for me. And if people just answered these questions for me, I could proceed with confidence that all of this shit is legit. He didn't say those exact words. I'm just paraphrasing here. So at the beginning, he was very sincere. He was very embarrassed, I would say, about being a flat earther. That let me know that this shit was legitimate. But as the conversation got on and on and on and on, and I started talking to him, he was also very hostile. So he would be asking for answers to particular questions, and we would be doing our best to give him these answers. But he would just be throwing it back in our faces. And then, of course, it turned into a huge fight. So it basically boiled down to, you know what? I'm going to make a YouTube channel dedicated to flat Earth, and I'm going to call it Jeranism or whatever. Then I said, okay, well, I'm going to make a YouTube channel dedicated to debunking you. And that's how the argument started, Your Honor. That's how the shit show started. We basically were born to be enemies at that point going forward. And it was a total shit show from that point forward. That's literally how it started. What really drove everything home was after a few years of him just lying about what we were presenting and how we were presenting it, using the same tricks as Witsit, we had our debate. I believe we had our debate in 2017 or 2018. I don't know which year exactly. But when we had our debate, the challenge was simple. It was, you need to provide evidence to show that your model best comports with reality, because that was the answer we were attempting to, or that was the question we were attempting to answer with our debate. Which model best comports with reality? So he denied all the shit that I was telling him beforehand. So let's see if he will be able to hear me with an actual debate. And keep in mind, it was the devil's job trying to get that motherfucker to debate me. We had to jump through a whole bunch of flaming hoops to make that happen. But here's the part that made me just like always kind of dislike him and distrust him. During our debate, he said, and I do fucking quote, "I do not have a model that works." And then he said something along the lines of, "All I have is the truth that has a few holes in it." What the fuck? This guy is literally saying that he knows that his model is complete bullshit, that it can't predict a goddamn thing, and that his so-called truth has a few holes in it by his own admission. So it's pretty funny where he goes around and he says, well, we tried to, see what the flat earth predicts, and it predicts nothing. And so that was very profound to me. Motherfucker, you knew that shit all the way back in 2018. What's the difference? Well, I'll tell you what the difference was. The difference was he didn't have a few more extra years to grift off of this shit. That was one thing. And then when it came to Jeranism being honest, well, okay, fine. Well, Jeranism may have been a dipshit, but he was an honest dipshit. He genuinely believed the shit that he was spewing. Let me give you another example of how we know that's complete bullshit. It was his beef, I guess we can call it, against Stephen Hawking, where
oh my God,
where he used Stephen Hawking's disability as a springboard for a bunch of cheap jokes. And what he also said during his rant or video is that Stephen Hawking died. That wasn't Steve. And keep in mind, this was before Stephen Hawking actually passed away. He was very much alive when this video was made. But Jeranism said with a straight face, the real Stephen Hawking died because nobody can survive ALS for that long. So whoever is in that chair is not Stephen Hawking. It's a puppet, and someone else is controlling him through the computer, controlling what he says, controlling his movements and where the chair goes. He was saying all this crazy shit. You and I both know that there is no fucking way in hell Jeranism had any evidence for that batch of bullshit, but he still said it anyway. So we have an admission that Jeranism knew for the longest fucking time that his model was complete and total horseshit. And we also have him we also have an example of him being totally comfortable about lying. This motherfucker lied as easily as he breathed. And then we have the problem with the Netflix documentary, where this motherfucker has demonstrated not only the curvature of the Earth, but the rotation of the Earth, and off of the documentary, the existence of the International Space Station, while still saying that it's bullshit. I mean, this motherfucker has gone above and beyond to essentially deny what is literally right in front of him. Now, but why would he do this? I constantly get asked. Why would he do all of this and put himself in this position? Well, I would say it was calculated. What he wanted to do was he wanted to give off the impression that he was actually out there and doing stuff. So that's why he would do the boards and the flashlight thing. That's why they would go for a $20,000 ring laser gyro and not know how to use it properly or not know what it means. That's why they would say they're going to use bismuth jars or whatever to block the heavenly energies or whatever the fuck that means. That's why they would go. That's why they would go out and record the International Space Station and just lie and say that it's a drone or a spy plane of some kind. You know, they have to give off this impression. They have to do it because that's what their audience was craving. Wow, this flat earther is actually going out there and putting his money where his mouth is and doing the investigative work. This is why they came up with FE Corps. Remember that shit show, Flat Earth Corps, Flat Earth Engineers, where Jeranism was the head of the board? They were trying to make that shit a fucking nonprofit. And they and keep in mind they were called FE. It didn't stand for Flat Earth. No, it stood for Field Engineers. But yet everyone was a flat earther. Do we all think that Jeranism was so deluded as to think of himself as a fucking engineer in any way, shape, or form? This motherfucker has had a long established history of spewing dog shit and smiling through the entire fucking thing. And not only that, he has also lied about his stuff being well researched, because an honest person would admit when they got something wrong. So, for example, Jeranism made the claim or made the case that Tycho Brahe claimed that there are no spheres in the sky, that he was killed for this revelation via mercury poison or whatever, and that it was Johannes Kepler that was the murderer. And he said that this shit was well researched and blah, blah, blah. Well, then Cool Hard Logic comes along, shoves that shit straight up his ass, not just up his ass, but turns it sideways before doing so, and makes him squeal like a little bitch. In response, Jeranism did not apologize and said, by the way, I fucked up and here's how. What he did was he quietly and without any warning took down the video, but never once issued an apology. I even called him out on that on stream once upon a time, and he still didn't issue an apology. He's like, why am I going to apologize for this thing? Why am I going to apologize for this thing? Because you were spewing bullshit, my guy. You were spewing so much bullshit, you got called out for it. And the only reason you took it down was because Cool Hard Logic has 100,000 subscribers, and now the video has over 350,000 fucking views. You can't hide from this shit. So your best bet to at least contain the damage is to take down your own video and try not to talk about it ever again. So when you look at everything, when you look at this cumulative case that we have, it's not just one thing, it's several things. We have examples of Jeranism knowing the truth but lying anyway. We have definitive evidence that he's comfortable with lying. And all of this just leads me to believe that the dude knew for the longest time that he was full of shit, but just wanted to keep pushing it because he was objectively making money and he was objectively getting clout for it. But there's another thing, and I did not say this before. Max, this is an exclusive on your channel.
Ooh.
And I really hate doing this because I actually have to give Jeranism credit for something. And I know that if I do, Jeranism is going to have a shattering orgasm. So here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Jeranism is actually really smart because just like Donald Trump, he knows all the words, all the best words. He's very articulate. He knows how to speak. He knows how to convey what he's trying to say. He knows how to put videos together and make them very well polished. They're very polished videos. He knows how to make diagrams that are somewhat kind of maybe worth a shit, even if they're wrong. He at least puts in the effort. All of this requires a level of understanding and a level of intelligence. And if you have that level of intelligence where you can string a coherent sentence together and make hour-long videos where you don't miss a step and have beautifully edited videos just all together, then you have enough brain power to understand basic fucking trigonometry. So you're telling me you're good enough to get in contact with Netflix and make your own videos and make a YouTube channel with over 100,000 subscribers, but for some reason, basic trigonometry is just too hard for you to grasp. Are you fucking kidding me right now? So again, that's just my opinion. That's just what I'm seeing. I hope that answers your question. I understand that was very long-winded. Thank you very much for listening to me explain my position on this.
Thanks. That's exactly what we wanted to hear. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's catch up on some messages. Aldebaran says, Isa is forgiving. He looks for the best in people and doesn't hold grudges. And Real Cygnus says, yep, that's admirable. I agree. Chris Arman, in an extreme display of not knowing, not being able to read the room, says, who wants to debate abortion? And Chris, if you're still here, I'll debate you on abortion. Not now, but you can email me there. That's my email, and you can also find me there on Discord. But yeah, we can debate, just not right now.
Does that mean I have to cancel my restaurant? Welcome to Red's Barbecue and Abortion Clinic, where yesterday's mistake is today's steak.
Eric E says, can we get a clip of Jeran saying that about Stephen Hawking? Do you have that, Reds?
I believe I can find it. It might be in an old video of mine, so it's going to be a clip of a clip if that's acceptable.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so yes, I would be able to bring that up, but you will have to give me a moment. I'm going to look for it right now.
Awesome.
And Max, do you want me to send you the link, or can I screen share it on my on my own?
Yeah, you can share it yourself, no problem. Stop the stupidity. Gifted 5 more Shadow Amate Talks memberships, and they went to Liz K, Leo Filius, Ale Vallejo, Pauley, and Monkey Cat Pat. Oh my! I think that is the best shot I've ever seen when it comes to sniping people with gifts. Thank you so much. That was great. You hit all friends. CK says, what's up, my bro? I humbly love you. I humbly accept your salutes. Thank you so much, my bro. My bro CK, which is a lady, but you know that I learned from Witsit that you can call even your wife dude bro. So
listen, no one is born cool except for those that understand that dude is a gender neutral term.
I mean, yeah, but telling your wife this, I'm quoting here, dude, I hate you, bro. That might be pushing it a little bit too far.
Maybe. Okay, I found the video. I just need to find the part. So I'm going to mute real quick. I'm going to find the clip, and then I'm going to request that I screen share so we can hear Jeran say that that's not the real Stephen Hawking. The real Stephen Hawking died years ago. So let me find it real quick, and I'll be right back.
Awesome. Fugazi says, don't call your wife bro or dude. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, that's a whole other level. Or yeah. Oh, that too. Whore. Don't call that your wife that either. I mean, out of all the choices you could make, there's a reason why happy wife, happy life is a thing. It's because it's true. Isa, while we wait on Reds, how are you doing with your recovery? Are they giving you, because I've been meaning to ask, are they giving you the good drugs?
Yeah, unfortunately, but yeah, that is, I'm getting. I do not like using them, but
but they feel just yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Did they give you what they give you? They give you
Oxy.
morphine?
Oxy. I've got morphine and Oxy. Yeah.
Oh, I never tried that, but they've given me morphine for a couple of operations, and woo.
Okay, I
That
found the
is
video. I found the video.
awesome.
Okay,
On the
okay,
middle,
so
you're familiar with StreamYard, right? In the middle of the
yeah,
screen, you
I
have
can
the
screen share, and then it's just make sure I pipe the audio through.
correct.
Okay, so let me go ahead and just give some context here before I share.
Okay.
This, I can't find the original video because I believe Jeranism took it down. So this is a response video that I made to him. I also took mine down because he took his down. That's kind of a rule that I have with myself. If you take down your video, I take that as you admitting defeat, and then I take down mine as a courtesy. I'm very fair with these sort of things. I have a code. So I'm going to play this video. You're going to hear my voice as well as his. Just know in the context, this is a response video. That's the context you need to keep in your head. This is a response video to Jeranism, who is saying this shit. Okay?
All right.
All right, here we go. Let me go ahead and share screens. Also share audio. Can you all see that?
Yep.
Okay, so for the audience, can you tell me what that says right there that I highlighted?
It's a little bit small. You're going to have to read it for us.
Let's go down.
Ah, perfect. Oh shit.
So what does that
Eric
say?
E, 8 years ago, Eric E asked if we can get the link, but you made it private, right? So
I made it private, and it's staying private. That's just a code I have, but I will play it for you. But this was uploaded 8 years ago. So I'm not just making this shit up. This goes back a ways. So let me zoom back out, and let's listen to this cataclysmic amount of horse shit.
About their lies.
And as a person that thinks the earth is flat, you are in no position to lecture. So you can hear that?
yes.
Okay, here it goes. Anybody on truth.
They have their high
booty call.
priests who push their dogma and their faithful followers who feel they can do no harm.
That's bullshit because nobody is safe from scrutiny in science. Have you ever heard of the peer review process? What kind of religion has a self-correcting system to filter out the bullshit? Well, not the flat earth religion, I'll tell you that much.
Booty
Let me
call.
point out a recent lie, a terrible blunder by the ventriloquist that operates Stephen Hawking.
Oh, I see. So just
Oh.
because Stephen Hawking has to speak through a computer, that means his words are not his own. Well, let me guess, Jism, you pulled that assertion out of your ass. Why do I get the feeling that this is going to be a common theme with you?
Of course, we know that's not the real Stephen Hawking anymore. He died years ago.
Holy shit, he's still alive, you dipshit. Or is his continuation of bodily and cognitive functions now part of the conspiracy?
ALS for 50 plus years? Yeah, right. That's like everyone dying around the age of 80 or 90. Maybe a couple people live to be 100 or 110. And one guy goes off and is 250. Not happening. Never. No doubt about it.
This just in, Jism is now apparently an expert on ALS. So if he says it can't happen, you know he didn't pull that assertion out of his ass. So I think I demonstrated the point.
Jism.
Yes, that was our lovely nickname for him. It was Jism. So as you can see, he did in fact say that the person in Stephen Hawking's place was not the real Stephen Hawking. The real Stephen Hawking died years ago, and someone is controlling him, like a fucking sock puppet and whatnot. He actually said that shit, and as you can see, that was from a video I posted 8 years ago.
So, I mean, Stephen Hawking had a lot of money. And people with money that generally have conditions which are sometimes more fatal for regular people, they can afford more extreme treatments and they can afford to go, out of their medical insurance or travel to some other country to get some experimental treatment. So it's not far-fetched when people.
It's also not far-fetched that Jearnism just didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
True. Yeah.
Because here's the thing: people beat the odds all the time when it comes to medical issues. There's some people out there that can tell you stories of, I was diagnosed with a particular ailment and it was going to kill me in 6 months. Well, it's been 12 years and I feel great. I'm in the best shape of my life. These things do happen. Mm-hmm. So he literally did not know anything about ALS, but pretended that he was an expert. Oh, come on. That will never happen. No doubt about it. These were his words. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I'm going to say this as a fact. I'm going to say that someone is controlling Stephen Hawking. Now, does that sound like someone that was genuinely seeking the truth the entire time? No, this was a guy that was trying to promote a bullshit story, a religion. He wanted to make a cult. He wanted to have a cult following that simply turned their brain off. Like, seriously. It's like, what the fuck? And also, Storm Rider, can't do this. Reds, you're a simp. Well,
yes, I was going to show that. I don't know who that is, but why are you a simp?
I don't know, but you know what? It is what it is. If I'm a simp, then so be it. I mean, Max, what can I say? You're just too damn good in bed, man.
I know. It's what comes with being Latino and living.
You just know all the right moves, and it's just.
Yeah.
I mean, how could I resist when you treat me so well?
David said Isa probably checking his phone every time. I think that was the little bell, the ding that sounded like the iPhone.
Yeah, that
was on the video, right?
That was on the video, yes. So the premise was the fuckery counter challenge. Now, have any of y'all ever seen the YouTube channel Cinema Sins?
Yes. Love that.
That's the concept we were stealing.
Yeah.
So he has the ding counting all the sins. So we did the ding counting all the fuckeries. And the name of the video was the fuckery counter challenge.
We have, I was saying booty call because we have a running gag here. Ladies are messaging Isa all the time. So every time his phone rings on stream, it makes me giggle and I go booty call. Because you have no idea the pool that Isa has.
OMG.
Tori Hansel says, we have a very serious question back here, Max. What is the color of the walls in your backdrop? White. Love that. All right, let's keep it going a little bit. Icy Spin, yes, I saw that. Thank you so much.
Yep, and also I hope the audio came through just fine, but you
came on perfectly.
Perfect. All right, just wanted to make sure. All right, let's continue.
Point is that it only takes one black swan to falsify the claim that all swans are white. So for the horizon to be no further than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, according to the globe Earth radius claim of 3,959 miles.
Stop. Fucking. The problem is that there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of swans. There's only one Earth, dipshit.
Yeah.
No, not even once.
And it would follow that because of the nature of the claim, that if you find one black swan, you would probably find more, unless it's like a mutation and there are no actual black swans. It's just that they have like something like inverse vitiligo in humans, right? That they grow darker. I think it's called melanism, when it's the opposite of albinism.
Yes.
Right. Instead of being albinos, they're dark. They have a lot of pigment.
So we have issue where, you know, Witsit is really trying to push forward a fallacy onto this argument, and it's not working. If you only had one swan in existence, and that one swan was black, then you would be justified in saying that particular swan is black. But what this motherfucker did with the black swan photo is similar to seeing one white taint hair and immediately coming to the conclusion that just because this one taint hair was white, that the entire swan was white.
Taint hair, taint feather, maybe.
And what they also don't tell you is that the only reason that one little taint hair is white is because it kind of just rummaged through like an old bleach bottle that one time. But they were just waiting for that opportunity.
It's a massive coincidence.
Massive. It was like, who could have ever seen this coming? Even though I was literally staging everything exactly so to get the shot that I wanted.
This is something that people like Andrew Wilson do, and it's getting a hyper-specific example or hypothetical or something like that, and then out of a very hyper-specific fringe situation, making a general argument, and that is just bullshit.
Yeah, as I said, one taint hair just happens to be white, and you just come to the conclusion that, oh, therefore the entire swan is white. No, that's not how this shit fucking works. That's not how this shit fucking works. Whether it was bleached, whether it was just out in the sun too long, you know, certain situations came together perfectly to get you that one thing. But that one thing is not indicative of every fucking day. All right, you captured the crane looking like it was broken on one day, but that doesn't mean you're going to see that every single day. We have multiple images of the black swan that shows no refraction at all. So those don't count because why? Reasons?
Exactly.
Right. When you see the horizon is in fact further than that, you can no longer claim it. You can no longer claim all swans are white. That's the whole point. It's like, yeah, I mean, I've been making observations for a long time. That's the way it works. It's like on your average day, you can't see as far as you can on other days. And it's always when it's clearer. So what a coincidence. When it's clearer outside, you can see further.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I mean, that's bullshit. I had someone show me a hill from Montevideo, like 400 kilometers, and it was a foggy day. There was a lot of humidity in the air, so that there was a lot of refraction. But with it, the thing is that if you have one outlier, you don't build examples or anything out of the outlier. There's a reason why in general you remove like the maximum value and the minimum value as outliers, and you average everything out so you get a more representative result of reality. But I guess the legally adept and
go ahead, sorry.
The legally adept and math genius that is Witsit, guess he doesn't know that.
So I remember taking an image of the Tampa skyline from the north side of the Skyway Bridge. Basically, that meant that towers were 24 miles away from me. So what is that? 30-something kilometers, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I took this image, and it was a nice, beautiful, clear day. And I could not see the bottom of those towers. And when you superimpose the full towers in where the towers should be showing, you see that it actually comports with what is predicted with the globe. Amazing. So this bullshit of, we always see too far. No, we fucking don't. You pulled that shit out of your ass. It's yeah, exactly, Sir Little Wolf. It was the blink test. You are absolutely correct. It was the Tampa Bay blink test. In fact, I have a video of it on my channel. I superimposed the towers as they are full. compared to what I'm seeing from the north side of the Skyway Bridge. They comport with the globe. So Witsit is just entirely wrong here.
Yeah. The same way that Nathan said, I've been measuring the Earth. He's like, Nathan Thompson, you have failed every turn of the way. That's why you're on TikTok.
Yeah.
And,
The
selling
guy,
like bullshit merch just to make a penny.
the guy that doesn't understand tangents is going to tell me that he's good at measuring shit. Okay, cool.
And it's not how far you're supposed to be able to see on the globe. And so to claim the globe, you have to say, when it's clearer outside, that's when there's the most refraction.
And you measure this, right?
I mean,
you have like a spreadsheet monitoring the refraction in one place, and all the the temperature, the humidity, the atmospheric pressure, where you are located, all of that, right? You have a year's worth of tracking, and you have all the evidence to warrant your claim, right? With it, right? Oh, no, you have nothing. Okay.
You ask too much.
Saying that for years, and no Glober ever addressed it. It's like, can you see further when it's clearer? Okay. When it's really clear, we see way too far. And then you have to therefore say, when it's clear, you have the most refraction. No guests have popped in yet, but we'll just keep playing.
In Punta Arenas, they had the sun going right to left. Again, people need to consider this. If you're on a flat Earth and you're at the south of South America, how is the sun going left? How is the sun going to the south? Guess what? There's a model that says the sun will go left, the sun goes south, it goes around the bottom of the Earth, comes back south of east. And that's exactly what we saw. So the globe Earth provides and again, I'll fully admit 100%, the globe is counterintuitive, but so is bugs in your tummy. So are a lot of things that we realize now are true. Go take a microscope and pull some bile out of your stomach and you're going to...
I don't know if I would say that the globe itself is counterintuitive. I think that just flat earthers are just stupid. There are things that are counterintuitive. For example, there is a lab in India and also another one in the US, and they're very close to reaching absolute zero. That means cooling a material to 0 Kelvin. That means no molecular movement whatsoever. And they are doing it by shooting lasers at it, which one would assume if you are imbuing an object with more energy, bombarding it with more light, how can it be that it's actually losing energy? And that is counterintuitive. That shouldn't happen because it doesn't happen anywhere else. But what they're doing is that the setup they have, that material emits a photon when it's hit by the laser. So that results in a net reduction of energy. So the material loses energy and temperature. And they're very, very close to actually reaching 0 Kelvin with this method. That is counterintuitive, Jeran. I don't think the globe is counterintuitive.
He might just be trying to ease his viewers into it. So it basically,
yes,
the way you do it is that you make your audience feel a little less stupid for believing this fucking nonsense. Oh yeah, the globe is totally counterintuitive. It's completely understandable why you were believing demonstrably incorrect bullshit, but that's okay. Let's go through it slowly. This is an easy way of guiding people along so that they don't immediately jump his shit. I personally wouldn't do that. I would just say, no, you guys were fucking wrong, and this is why, and just be very abrasive about it. But I think what Jearnism is trying to do is he's just trying to be very gentle in his approach. It's not the way I would do it, but I think I see what he's doing.
Yep. Toon put it this way. Jeran knows exactly who he's talking to. So he's building a little bit of that rapport back, giving a tiny concession that means nothing. Like, yeah, the globe. I was just being, nitpicky, something.
Oh, yeah. No, I understand. This kind of wishy-washy language is not going to do anything for Witsit. I think it's more of him catering to his audience.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, fair. But my criticism here is that he's talking to Witsit. If you're gonna go in deep, Go in with no lube, armed with sandpaper.
Well, we might get a part 2. And in his own review of the debate, Jeran said, and you could also notice how he's really disillusioned with Witsit. He actually said, I thought Witsit was a smart guy, a good debater, and that kind of stuff. And now even that veil is going by the wayside. So
yeah, because let me tell you something. Witsit is not smart, absolutely
not smart at all.
Was it? I don't know if it was to Witsit, but I wonder what he would say about it. Wasn't MC Tune offering like actual money for them to take like a geometry test?
Yes.
And regardless what the score was, they would still get the money, and every single one of them like just ran away. Wasn't Witsit one of those people that was given that opportunity?
Yes, but of course they run. They always run away. Sir Little Wolf says, "Cause we're living in a material world." And Real Sickness said, "And he is an etherical girl." Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Do you guys like that more, or there's this, or this?
To see little swimming creatures. Now, you don't feel like they're in there, but they are. So the globe Earth is the same. You may feel like it's flat. We may feel like there is no curvature. However, we just don't understand large spheres. A sphere can be so big, 24,901 miles in circumference, that you can't tell that it's curved because we're too small. That's how the Earth is a sphere and how it is kind of beautifully created, because you don't have to treat it like it's a sphere. It actually doesn't matter to your life. If you want to be a flat earther, that's fine, but get out of scientific studies, get out of scientific debates, because you don't have the kind of evidence to go up against a globe. You have to better present the world than the globe does. And the flat Earth can't explain anything. So that's basically
These are all just like speculative, like trust me, bro. Point.
Seriously,
not even fucking close.
Not even like, ugh, missed the mark, missed it by that much.
It's not a speculation to say the following: that your attempts to make a map based on the flat Earth have failed miserably. That is not speculation. That is a demonstrable fact. It is also not speculation to say that the globe Earth does have a really, really good map of reality. It represents reality in such a way that we can actually utilize that shit with some level of success. Now we are so good at this shit that we're literally down to what? You know, inches of accuracy. You know, this is some pretty detailed shit. So the globe is the more accurate model of reality. That is not speculation. What you are doing in that case, by saying that shit, what you are doing is broadcasting your cope. just an endless amount of cope. So much cope.
If you would tell me, like, they're doing this 20 years ago, but today the fact that you can just do a couple of taps on your phone and Amazon will deliver whatever shit you want to the door of your house, and that works using satellites, using GPS, using the globe, and many other verifications of the globe that are constantly being made by every person that has any kind of meaningful job. I don't know, like international shipping boat captain, cruise captain, and all the people that work in shit that's really important.
Yeah,
deal with glow, and here you are. It's like, no, it's flat.
I can go on my phone on Google Maps and I can measure distances on my phone, and it will tell me exactly how many miles it is in a straight line to a particular point. And if I were to actually go out and measure that shit, no one would be surprised when it matches. That's because we made a map of reality. That map of reality is pretty damn good. And guess what? In order to make it that damn good, it needs to be based on a round Earth.
Yep. Sir Little Wolf says, I bet Witsit measures in centimeters because it looks bigger. Look, 8 centimeters.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay.
I can say that.
I mean, we all know that Witsit measures from the butthole, right? I think we all agree, correct?
I mean, dude doesn't know what a tangent is, so that might be a challenge. But yeah, I'll go with it. I'll go with it.
Okay. Thank you, Jeran, for your rebuttal. And next is Austin. You have 7 minutes as your rebuttal. I'll start the timer when you begin talking.
All right, cool. All right, so to rebut your opener and kind of some of the stuff you said right there, I'm just going to list off kind of what's wrong with these arguments. Okay, so we have, again, like I described actually earlier, we have shifting the burden of proof. That's when.
What was that?
I said can't fucking wait.
Yes. He's going to rebut everything, guys. Just stay tuned.
You make a positive claim. If someone challenges or denies your positive claim, you then tell them they have to prove it. Meaning, if we challenge or deny your claim that the reason that we see that the sun's up in the sky doing a circle for 24 hours is actually because we're tilted antipodal to someone on the other side of this presupposed globe. That actually the sun is 93 million miles away and there's an empty vacuum between us, and therefore, because all of the stars are at such immense distances, that
You can hear the rehearsal on this nonsense. You can hear him just like practicing and practicing so he can spit the word salad in like a rap battle mode.
What I caught there is that he was accusing Jearnism of shifting the burden of proof. No, Jearnism was just making a statement. All right. So the statement was, if our job is to construct the most accurate map of reality, and it's a competition between competing models, which model wins? So he said the globe wins. That's not shifting anything, motherfucker. That's making a statement. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yep.
Like he just
also,
says words. He just says, oh, you did this thing, even though you didn't do that thing, because it makes him sound smart. It makes him sound like he was actually paying attention. He's a fucking liar.
I use big words so I can sound parallelepiped.
Yeah, pretty much.
we don't ever see them, and that perspective doesn't actually affect where we see them, even though it moves just as if it would be because of perspective like everywhere else. And then about 5 more presuppositions. And you actually require these presuppositions sped up.
Fuck no, the sun doesn't move like in perspective. Seriously.
What the fuck does that even mean?
That it's moving away, kind of, the bullshit that they say that it goes to the vanishing point. The problem is that you can get actual, it takes just one Google and you can get actual pictures of the sun that is like cut halfway at the horizon. So no, it's not moving away. No.
If it was moving away, the angular size of the sun would change throughout the day. And guess what?
Yes.
It doesn't. And guess how I know that? I went out and I measured it, asshole.
They measured it in Antarctica directly. They took everyone. They did a collective effort and gathered solar filter pictures from all around the world. And when you plot them, the sunspots are rotated depending on the latitude and where that person is in the world.
That's the thing flat earthers hate, is that a lot of them don't want to do that observation with a solar filter because they like it when there's glare, because what they're measuring is glare. But if you did that observation with a solar filter, like I did, like what they did in Antarctica, you find out pretty fucking quickly that the actual angular size of the sun does not change throughout the day. But these motherfuckers cope so hard that they say that using a solar filter is cheating or some shit.
CK says, Reds is hilarious, love his jabs. Sir Little Wolf says, I remember when Reds was just a humble plumber. Nicey Spin said, and I double checked your measurement, Reds.
Yes. And I believe that was a misspelling. I think he says, I love his jokes, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
No, I think it's jabs.
Yeah, jobs. I know that's what it says, but that might be maybe what was intended to be said there was jokes, because that's the only thing that makes sense in this context.
Maybe.
Maybe. Right. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Correct me if I'm wrong, or if I'm just reading jabs.
Jabs, maybe? Yes. Jabs. That's what I said.
Okay. Jabs. Yeah, that's probably better. CK, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
are intense with me.
Jokes. I was right.
No,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
position of
I
you on the
was
globe is
right.
easy.
Oh, in your fucking faces.
Yes, suck it, Max.
Oh,
Some
okay.
do that.
Okay.
So you list all those off and then say, if that's not the case, which most of the people defending the globe, they just expect this to be granted. They very conveniently omit that it requires that many presuppositions to even then affirm the consequent that viewing the sun is that way, right? You have to view all of those.
I love that when he goes down that route, because like Witsit, you have a presupposition that God created the universe and put the earth at the center of everything because it's very special because you live in it. What are you even talking about presuppositions? Are you fucking kidding me? I've heard Witsit's justification of why he believes in God, and it's a total destruction of the second law of thermodynamics. Like, it's a bastardization. It fails as an apologetic for God, and it fails even as an argument for like anything. It's so bad.
And also,
So
God could easily make the Earth a sphere. Are you saying then all powerful God is incapable of making a spherical planet?
Yeah, no. They think that their God has the capability of doing a snow globe instead of an ever-expanding universe filled with wonder and science and amazingly cool shit like black holes.
Yeah, obviously, it's much better for us to be living on a giant land tortilla with a salad bowl over it with a sun that has a shape-shifting lampshade.
Yeah, I don't know why they love that that feeling of being trapped and you can't go anywhere. We literally have the whole universe to explore. We just have to figure out how to fucking do it. And they just like, it's like, I like my crystal prison.
It must be weird having to suffer from that level of Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, definitely.
You have to claim all those presuppositions and reify them, presuppose them, and then affirm the consequent to address the idea that we're doing the same thing. We are not, right? Like the black swan argument, for example, was if the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3,959 miles, then the geometric physical horizon is at 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. It is not.
Can be no further than.
So therefore, the Earth is not a sphere. That is a falsification of a positive claim, as opposed to affirming the consequent, which is if the Earth is a sphere, we'll see the sun being a.
Sorry.
Again, when you take your image on a shitty day with horrible refraction, your math is even more wrong than it normally is.
A rare case of...
It's like this. Hey, Max, if I shined a light right at your face, there were no walls between us. That's one situation where it would be totally understandable on how that light is hitting your face, right? Now let's imagine that I put a wall between us, and in order to get to you, you have to go through this maze. I shine a flashlight, it won't be able to reach your face. But what about if I shined it through fiber optic cables? Oh, now that shit can bend left, right, up, down. It doesn't fucking matter. That shit can go wherever I lay that cable. And if I lay that cable, the end of that cable right at your face, you're going to see the light again. Well, refraction bends light. Not to the extremes of a fiber optic cable, but the bending is the important point. So if you take your image on that particular day, you can't just ignore the fact that refraction is there, just like you can't ignore the fiber optic cable in my example to explain how the light fucking got there.
We're talking like Witsit has any idea. Witsit in the intro to this video said that light doesn't travel and that it's just a perturbation of the ether. And I don't remember exactly. Light doesn't travel, and I don't remember exactly what I came up. I came up with two. Well, I came up with one, and someone else reminded me of one that I had used before. Is that if light doesn't travel, then why is it that when I interrupt its trajectory, you don't see the light hitting my camera anymore? It's almost like it's traveling and it's stopping because there is an opaque object in the middle. Pretty much like a ray of light would do, right? I think that's correct, right?
I mean, but there's also this thing called Have you ever heard of something called femto photography?
I have, yes. I remember. I actually show that. It's the slow-mo guys recording light at 10 billion FPS.
There was also 13 years ago, MIT posted a video. Let me do this. Do. Here we go. And blah, blah, blah. There we go. And we do the share. And then we show. There we go. Okay. As you can see, 1 trillion frames per second light traveling. So this is the part where I tell Witsit to shut the fuck up.
Alquarisme says, Witsit has falsified the idea that we live on a planet that has no atmosphere, an idea that's also falsified by the fact that we're all breathing. Witsit also said in this debate that the Earth is not an object. So I was kind of like, okay, Witsit, why don't you grab a handful of dirt and just shove it in your mouth and let me know what that is.
Not an object.
Sky for 24 hours. We see the sun in the sky for 24 hours. Therefore, Earth's a sphere. That's affirming the consequent. Making a positive claim, presupposing the actual thing in question, and then just affirm it because of the outcome, like the actual observation itself, right? So as if to exclude any alternative possibility. This is why it's logically fallacious, right? And then, of course, like the straw man of like, it could be a dog. No, the position specifically is that we physically, empirically measure.
But you haven't given us any alternative possibilities that aren't complete bullshit. So if you're saying, oh, it's the heavenly energies, you have to tell us what the fuck that means, and then you have to prove that there's actually heavenly energies. Like, oh, you're ignoring all the other possibilities. What other possibilities? Tell us what they
are. The ether, bro. That's what it is. The ether.
Like they have to fucking spell this shit out. They can't just say, oh, there are other possibilities. Really? Fucking tell me what they are. Fuck.
He doesn't have anything really, just the ether. But then he will also say, Toon has the audio clip how Witsit says the ether is not science. So again, it's just his faith in God, his faith in the ether, his misunderstanding of physics, and just slimy debate tactics. And Witsit, you're just doing a stream about repeating yourself, the same objections you said during the debate. And Jeran beat all of those, and you're still here just listing out fallacies. You're going to run out anytime soon.
This is why, and this is something that we should also make very clear. We are very fortunate that we have the ability to pause this shit, because what he's doing right now is rapid fire bullshit. And this is very, very difficult when it comes to trying to keep up with this shit so you can respond to everything, because you're inevitably going to miss something. But because we have the luxury of pausing this shit, we can respond to everything and demonstrate without a shadow of a doubt that he's full of shit on everything.
Yeah. I pick up. I think I am actually very effective against Witsit because I pick up on all of those things. Like when he said that supposedly we were in Antarctica, right? I pick up on those little very detailed things. That's why he doesn't want to debate me. Witsit for a time said that sound was electromagnetic. And if you don't know, I'm a DJ, I'm a music producer, so sound is kind of my thing. And I was like, wait, what do you mean sound is electromagnetic? And he said that for a while until in an after show for a debate on MDD, he came on and I was like, hey, would you like to debate me on sound being electromagnetic? Because that is just false.
Yep.
And then he goes into the everything is intrinsically electrostatics while denying atoms. So it's a mess.
Yeah,
but
it's a mess.
Since
he makes these claims all the time.
Since then, he has been running away from debating me. I've challenged him to debate flat Earth, to debate, religion, abortion, like anything, and he just won't do it because he knows I know his game.
Well, can you highlight a comment by Big Fish V32? He says, Witshit's main tactic is rapid fire bullshit. Exactly. 110% yes.
The surface, we utilize the surface to actually be a topographical plane, and then I listed off specific reasons why we have to utilize it to be a plane in the first place. And we can talk more about the positive evidence. I want to just specifically rebut these things. So we have shifting the burden to confirm the consequent. Your whole opening really was like poisoning the well as well, right? Kind of like a hasty generalization, because there certainly are some people that act that way within the idea of flat Earth. Hasty generalization fallacy to put them all together, and then kind of a stereotype fallacy, right, to describe what we all are, right? And then a genetic fallacy because those people are like that. Anything coming.
Witsit right now just found the vein, hit that hard, and just like shooting up like vial after vial of 100% pure, unadulterated, refined weapons grade copium. Like holy shit!
A lot of fallacies being thrown around. None of them actually stick. So. Yeah, you know, I'm going to use that later on. Fallacy-gasm. That's hilarious.
Yes,
I am going to steal that shit. I am stealing that shit. That is excellent. A fallacy-gasm. If I ever have the misfortune of ever talking to Witsit again, I'm going to ask him, did you enjoy that fallacy-gasm? Did you enjoy it? Was it everything you wished it would be and more?
Hey DP, hello. Yeah, that is just wild. But not only is he just injecting the copium, he's like injecting himself, snorting, smoking it, and putting a little bit in the rim of his butthole.
Yep.
Dude,
crush,
this is just
crush,
wild.
Crush, snort.
From them must not be true. And then these are all these fallacies are packed into one. And then you use that to poison the well the entire time, right? Which is incredibly fallacious. And there were lots of ad homs in there, and then a lot of people that are not here, and I'm not going to answer for what they did.
Poisoning the well.
Flat Earthers can't research. That's an ad hom, bro. I mean, rebut it. Show me how you're a good researcher. You don't just get to win an argument by crying fallacy like a little bitch with it. We've been through this.
Saying that you're wrong when you are objectively wrong is not poisoning the well. Just to be clear.
Or saying flat earthers are poor researchers when Jeran was one, it's a perfectly warranted claim. It's no fallacy.
Yeah, no, they are poor researchers. I mean, just look at his shitty job when he was supposedly researching Tycho Brahe. You know, just holy fucking shit. And also, we even have it listed on the MC Tunes law of Flurf. Isn't one of the laws that flat Earth citations always contradict the flat Earth claim?
Yes.
The reason why that's a thing is because they are poor researchers. They don't seem to understand that what they're presenting actively debunks them. It actively debunks them, and they're so stupid and they're so bad at this that they don't even realize it debunks them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have posted the damn thing in the first place.
Yep. That is one of the hardest.
Yeah, they wouldn't have posted the damn thing in the first place, and that's why we have it as the MC Tune Law of Flurf. Well, one of them at least.
Yes. Every time they tell you, I could give you the evidence, just ask for it. Just be patient and tell them, yes, get me the evidence now, and we'll continue later, and you'll win 100% of the time, no exceptions.
And say, I do also know, like in good faith, I'll acknowledge that there's obviously a lot of context and history kind of leading up to this debate and what decided when Jeran. You did say that you tested it and tried to explain it for 6 months, and then you decided, well, really right when we got back, you started saying the Earth was a globe. It wasn't that you tested it with alternative explanations. Okay. There you go, 6 months before. So, okay, and then begging the question, it's kind of the same thing from consequence, just an informal, right? And then it was a lot of kind of an appeal to an emotion.
Okay, the entire.
I mean, you can't be begging the question if you're doing science. Dude, what kind of copium is that? Like, science is empirical. All of this fallacy nonsense to try and discredit an argument when there is evidence with it. This is just like absolutely stupid. And all your strategies, like you're the one shifting the burden of proof. You're the one saying that yours is the default position in an extremely unwarranted claim. You're the one that says falsification is independent of replacement, but you have nothing to replace it to, and you haven't actually falsified, so you still have nothing. Like, dude, you're just one failure over another, like one after the other. Wild.
The point was, if we go and confirm it, we actually have that evidence to now work with, and anything else, so we can really know exactly how it is before we can ever try to figure out exactly how it works. Exactly what did we observe? We can look at the evidence. Exactly what did we see leading up to it, et cetera, and then we'll figure it out. We were supposed to go to the drawing board when we got back. We weren't supposed to come back and then immediately make like,
oh, isn't that adorable? We were supposed to go to the drawing board and literally invent something to try and save face. Witsit, you're adorable. It's like, we need to keep the fantasy alive no matter what. Oh,
Yeah.
Witsit, do you need a hug?
And also, just as I understand this is obvious, but Witsit doesn't know what begging the question is.
Oh, 100%. He gets
just,
all of the fallacies wrong.
Basically, he's using begging the question to mean the mere fact you asked the question, and that you are asking that question with the understanding that your question deserves an actual answer. He thinks that's wrong. And he thinks it's wrong because he believes that that is what begging the question is. It isn't. Begging the question just means your reasoning is circular. That's what that means. You're presupposing that a part of your question is true to lead to a particular answer. So it's circular reasoning. So Witsit needs to like brush up on his logical fallacies, because this is getting really, really fucking sad at this point.
Yep. Talking about Witsit taking a trip down memory lane, I know you will definitely get a kick out of this. This happened December 2024, and we're going to hear it directly from Witsit's mouth. This happened on that other channel that must not be named, but you'll see some very familiar faces in the crowd. So, Reds, I don't know if you're susceptible to derp, but this might be borderline overdosing. So just beware. Parental advisory is in effect.
2024 is going to be a rough year for you guys. We're taking away satellites. We're taking away celestial navigation. We're taking away claimed Euclidean visual space. And we're taking away the sky. And that's going to be rough for you guys. I mean, there's literally no rebuttal to any of them. Like when you claim that these things don't work on a flat Earth, we've proven that they do now objectively.
It's 2025. None of that happened. The sky is still there. Euclidean visual space is there. Like everything is there. You did nothing with it. You know what you did? You went to Antarctica and you saw the 24-hour sun, and that you destroyed flat Earth. So it kind of, these claims kind of backfired in the most spectacular way. And that audio is, that clip is just golden. I'm happy because that video doesn't exist anymore. So I'm happy that we have that for posterity, because that will be in the annals of history forever. Did you like that, Reds?
I love it. I love everything about it.
Like, conclude. The truth is, like, if Jeran ever had a moment where he was like, wait a minute, did I jump the gun? He went so hard, so early, that he put himself in a really tricky situation. The same situation that he used to always warn other people about, saying you can actually hurt the possibilities or chances of you getting someone in your family or your friends to see this by getting in real.
Why would you want that? I mean, Jeran and his wife they both flirted together, and they both got out of it together. And also, when I interviewed Melodome, he and his wife were both kind of together in the same, and they both turned back to the globe because of his son observations. They both turned back. So, I mean, when you're living a couple, those things, you usually go through them together.
Yeah,
What?
either you go through that shit together or you get a divorce.
Yeah, that is especially with the way flat earthers are about, you know, checking their beliefs. And the DPD banks share this to me. It's been 1 year, 5 months, 12 days, 15 hours, 15 minutes, and 40 seconds since Witsit said the derp that I showed you just now. So love it. Love it. We're still waiting for that apocalypse of globe destruction, but I think we're safe so far.
Man,
All intense arguments.
I don't know if I should. Anybody know? Maybe I will. Let's go ahead and do this. So it has been.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100.
Let's see. So Nathan
my
Oakley has
shit.
been running away from me for 2,329 days, 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 21 seconds.
Damn, that is that. It's a wonder that Nathan is on the chubby side with all of this running.
I know.
Those are like a couple dozen trips around the world with all that time.
All that running. I mean, dude is fit. I feel bad for the shoes though.
That is true. That is true.
Where he is just wearing them fuckers out.
He should start just running marathons because that is wild. That
Yes,
is
it is.
some stamina.
2,329 days. That's how long Nathan Oakley has been running away from me like a little bitch. Just thought I'd throw that out there. I mean, you brought up the clock. I did have to, show off a little bit.
Yep, of course.
I mean,
Are you
saw this
planning?
coming,
Are you planning something special for the 3,000 days or any other milestone?
Oh, absolutely. We had a celebration when this shit hit 2,000. There will be a celebration where it hits 3,000, and then there'll be a celebration when it hits 4,000, and then guess what? There'll be a big celebration when it hits 5,000.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's carry on, and once we're done with the rebuttals, we'll wrap it up for tonight.
Sounds good.
With them because they'll dig their heels in, or a lot of these people that have come out and said the things that they've said, they can never go back now. Even if they saw that the Earth was flat, and you're kind of doing the same thing to yourself here.
That doesn't describe like 99. I would dare to guess that 99% of the Globers, if you ever gave us like actual evidence of flat Earth, I would change my mind in a heartbeat, and I think many people would too. The problem is that you don't have that.
Absolutely. The one thing that they're missing is a fucking map that works. I mean, they said, is there one thing that I've been asked this before? Is there one thing that a flat earther could provide you that would make you a flat earther? And I said, oh, absolutely. They say, what is that thing? Give me a flat earth map that works. One that isn't completely fucked. If you provide that to me, I will be a flat earther. It's that simple. The reason why I'm not a flat earther is because you haven't been able to provide that to me. Want to take a guess why?
Yeah, 100%. Because it doesn't exist. Because you can't make a model of something that doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. So in every single time they try to brute force this thing to work, they end up fucking up some other aspect of what we can see and measure. So if you make, like, for example, the United States a proper size, you have to fuck up the geometry of some other continent somewhere else on the sphere. So it's just really, really, it's not just difficult, it's fucking impossible to do. You can, do the best you can, and you might get it relatively correct within a certain region, but not ever the globe as a whole. It will never fucking happen. Geometry doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it's an actual impossibility to properly map the Earth into a sheet of paper. Just
exactly.
Get on with it, accept it, move on. All right.
where it's like, now that you did go back, it would be crazy for you to flip back. And, you like, who would take what you're saying seriously at that point? You may have quite a bit of bias in this situation, to be honest.
Oh, that is,
I know you think that's ironic. You think I have bias in this situation, but I'm sure there is some bias here, I guess. But like, I can honestly say I've tried to actively, avoid that and think about that and account for that.
What a lying piece of trash.
I call bullshit.
Yeah,
I call
you
bullshit.
don't have bias. You, the anti-Semitic wife-spitting dummy, doesn't have bias. Like, you literally have to lie to make your argument. And that shows how biased you are, because you can't have gravity or relativity because it breaks the ether. Dude,
And not only that, the ether and gravity are completely irrelevant when it comes to the geometry of our planet. Again, you can call it the ether, you can call it magical unicorn farts. It doesn't matter. What matters is basic geometry, basic trigonometry. This is shit that you supposedly learned in middle school. Now, I will say one thing. The American education system is complete trash. All right, we suck at that shit. But I will tell you this. There are free courses online that are much better than what you get in middle school. So, hell, you can even find some of them on YouTube. Witsit could easily just take one of those classes, work at his own pace, learn basic trig, go outside, make a few measurements, and come to the correct conclusion that the Earth isn't fucking flat. It's that easy.
Even if you're interested in high-level physics, you have Feynman lectures here on the Caltech website. Those are in text, and if you go to YouTube, they're all in recorded mode. So you have educational material everywhere. They're just not interested.
Yeah, and also I tell this story. I told the story multiple times on my channel, and I do tell it all the time. I sucked at math. I barely passed high school. Like, and I'm serious. I barely passed high school. I was not a smart kid. I struggled with my studies. I struggled with math, and especially. And I guess my main problem is that I just didn't have the right motivation. But when someone was wrong on the internet, that just became all the motivation I needed for some reason. But I use that as an advantage in my arguments against flat earthers, because if I can figure this shit out, these motherfuckers are without excuse.
I kind of have a sort of a similar thing, but with another subject. I was good at math, great at chemistry. Like I always got straight A's, perfect scores in chemistry. And I was kind of bad at physics. And now, kind of because of the same motivation of just rubbing it on their fat faces, how dumb they are, I kind of went a little bit harder on the physics. So it is a great way to put it, to have a motivation to just rub it in someone big, fat, stupid face, how they're super dumb. That is just great to get you moving.
Because the numbers in school, they don't mean anything. They don't represent anything. They're just numbers on a page. But now when I do math for the purposes of flat earth debunking, those numbers mean something. They quantify the level of butthurt that's being applied to these flat earth dipshits. And that is very good motivation. And so I was able to learn this. Shit. And again, I'm not brilliant at math. I can't do calculus. I can't do a derivative to save my fucking life. But you don't need anything that advanced. No. That's why everything I do is basic. We're talking basic algebra. So you don't have to be a genius to figure this shit out.
No, that is exactly.
So Witsit is completely without excuse here. The only reason that I can think of that he doesn't go out and do these absolute bare bones basic things is because he doesn't want to, because it's going to be detrimental to his grift.
No, yeah, 100%. argue with people about this. One of those is MC Toon that I don't think. I think Witsit is just a pure grifter. He 100% knows, but he just doesn't want to work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. He is
that's
making
my
money
view.
off of this.
Right. Now he's getting less because of all the pushback. Like even the flat earthers hate him just for having gone to the trip. And he's desperately trying to make, and also with separating. I'm speculating here because we don't know, but the rumor is that he's splitting up with Kai.
Who?
With his partner, the mother of his children.
Oh.
So yeah, it's
well, all I'm saying is I would want a divorce too.
Yeah, 100%.
No, I'm sorry. I can't tolerate stupidity of that magnitude. Absolutely fucking not. That
well,
would be...
she was also a flirt. They actually met flirting, but women.
Even
I'm
a
going
flat
to make
earther, even a flat earther can have standards.
And I'm going to make a little bit of a generalization, but I think it's fair. Women, people in general, get a very quick acting dose of maturity as soon as they have kids. Most people, I would say. Witsit clearly didn't, but Kai obviously switched her priorities from flat Earth to her kids, and I think that's great. She might still believe that the Earth is flat, but I mean, we haven't seen her. She used to 2v2 debate with him, and we haven't seen her in a long while. So
yeah. Let me highlight a comment that just came through. People like Witsit are an insult to our intelligence and a waste of our time. Honestly, the more we talk about this little man, the more nauseated I feel. At least this is how I feel right now. Dude, you are absolutely correct. Witsit is an insult to our intelligence and a total waste of our time. But there is an unfortunate truth here, and that is that his words, they are traveling, and they are, in my opinion, extremely damaging. This guy has influence. It's very unfortunate, and he's not going to go away just because we ignore him, because we can talk about something else. That damage is still going to be done. The best that we can do as of right now is to illustrate in clear detail why he's wrong. And people may find our videos while at the same time searching up Witsit videos. And they may get hooked on what we're saying, and we just might stop them from going too far down the rabbit hole where it's going to be very difficult to get them back.
True.
Assuming,
sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Assuming that Jeranism is telling the truth, it took 10 years and $40,000 fucking dollars to get the job done. That's when he was already down in the rabbit hole. It is so much cheaper and easier to prevent people from even going down the rabbit hole in the first place. The way we do that is by illustrating clearly, definitively, and without compromise that these motherfuckers are wrong, and we can prove it, we can demonstrate it, and we can do so with our own observations, with our own mathematics, with our own pictures and videos and so on. This is a way for us to essentially dull the amount of damage that is being done, because stupidity flourishes on the internet, and we should be part of the solution, or at least try to be. And in the process, it's always good to have a little fun while we're doing so that we don't go crazy doing this shit.
That was what I was going to say. At the very least, this is very, very fun entertainment, which you cannot script some of the stuff that these idiots say. And I've had some of my best laughs in my life just listening to someone crash out over the shape of the Earth. It is amusing. And I've done very copious amounts of drugs, and I laughed my ass off. But I can definitely say I've never laughed as much as I've laughed sometimes sober just by speaking to a flirt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
also
wild.
Real Cygnus brings up that apparently he promised a flat Earth homeschooling course to his minions. Yeah, that's fucking terrifying. So,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. These motherfuckers, unfortunately, they have kids, and these motherfuckers vote, and they're going to influence other people to think along the same lines and vote basically the same exact way, and we're all going to suffer because of it. So the way we stop Idiocracy from becoming a fucking documentary at this point is we do everything in our power to call out these motherfuckers, to explain why they're wrong, and to never back down from a challenge. So if Witsit were to come to me today and say, hey, Reds Reddick, I wish to have a debate against you, I'll be like, let's do this shit. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Or we have live streams like this with our lovely host Max, for example, bringing you this very entertaining content, but also pointing out just how they're wrong so that hopefully one of his fans will see it and be like, you know, on second thought, Witsit seems like a disingenuous piece of shit and a total fucking liar, or just a total fucking idiot that doesn't understand what he's talking about.
Yeah, the end result is the same. And Neto user replied, that's a fair point, but how many more years are we going to spend like that if we don't block these people on the internet? I know YouTube is already doing it, but they're still around.
Yeah, unfortunately, there is a never-ending conveyor belt of bullshit, and it's going to require constant effort on our part. Now, there may come a day where I may just get completely burned out from this, and I hope that other people would take my place to pick up where I left off. I think, honestly, if I were to finally get sick of this shit, the least I could do is give my YouTube channel to somebody else to carry on the work, to keep attacking these flat earthers, keep challenging them to back up their bullshit, calling out their mistakes, calling out their lies, all that shit. You know, we should do everything in our power to keep going, because these motherfuckers are going to keep going. This is their bread and butter. Now, there may come a day long into the future that we finally have this shit on lockdown. These flat earthers are gone. They're not coming back. And that's the end of it. Maybe that day will come. But until it does, we have to be prepared to continue fighting these fuckers, because they're going to keep spitting out this bullshit left, right, and center nonstop. So we have to be willing to continuously correct these assholes and continuously correct the record. It is a pain in the ass. It fucking sucks. I wish it wasn't the case, but it is. And, you know, if they're going to bring bullshit, I'm going to bring correction.
Yeah. And the other thing is that it might happen that, let's say, in a year or so, some other conspiracy, which is more relevant and more dangerous, comes up. And maybe we have to pivot towards doing something like that. So, I mean, it does look like it's not going to stop, but the state of flat Earth, it's just shambles, right?
Yes.
It's not nowhere near what it has been. So I think the fight is actually having some effect. Will did tremendous damage to flat Earth. Just opened the door and threw a grenade and said, "See you later, fuckers."
You know, right now, what's happening is that flat Earth has a lot of negative attention. And honestly, we have momentum on our side. And credit to Will Duffy for giving us that huge fucking boost, big ass fucking boost. We're fucking supercharged at this point.
Yeah.
At this point, we just got to keep this shit up. Just keep the momentum going. It's like, wow. So he says, that's a fair point. Again, Reds Rhetoric and Max, I agree. I just hope the kids never listen to them. They're almost all I care about right now at this point. after all these years. Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. What I
But
I truly believe that deluding your kids to believe flat earth propaganda, that it is child abuse. These motherfuckers are child abusers if they take their kids out of school and homeschool them and indoctrinate them into the flat earth bullshit cult religion. I think that is child abuse. I think that is wrong. That is fucked up. And, something should be done to save these kids. Honestly, I really, really do. It is fucking child abuse. But let's imagine a situation here. What if that child grows up and, get this, has access to the internet? And let's say he were to find some motherfucker by name of Max, and he was talking to some other motherfucker by name of Red's Rhetoric, and they were busy tearing their father a new asshole, and they were actually making a lot of sense. Yeah, that they are. Yeah, that isn't a fallacy. No, basic trigonometry would explain this. Maybe I should go out and try it, and maybe at the very least, it piques their interest. We just got them within the doorway of getting the fuck out of Dodge, and that gives them an opportunity to eventually one day, hopefully, tell their dad to go fuck himself, and they're going to go and actually make something of their lives. They're going to get a proper education. They're going to do something with themselves that is actually productive, that benefits society, and doesn't bring us back to the fucking Stone Ages. That is a bit of a stretch, but it is a possibility. And so long as that possibility is there, I say full fucking steam ahead.
I have a little bit more of an optimistic view. Maybe Isa is rubbing off on me. In that, in general, kids have an age in which they start seeing through some of the bullshit their parents have been telling them. So I do have kind of the hope that some of these flat earther kids will go through that rebellious phase and just say, like, Dad, this is just nonsense.
Yeah.
But I'm like wishful thinking.
Yeah,
All right,
I also want to
So-
just correct the record real quick. If I said because people are bringing up Mikey, if I said Mikey, I apologize. I misspoke. I meant Witsit.
yes, Mikey has no kids, fortunately.
Yeah, Mikey doesn't have any kids. If I said that, I apologize. I don't think I did, but if I did, I apologize. No, I'm talking about Witsit. If Witsit's kids grow up to eventually have unrestricted access to the internet and they stumble upon our videos, we might get them to think a little. And that could be very dangerous for Witsit and his bullshit story and his hold that he has over them. So we essentially gave him a little spark of curiosity, and that could morph into something very positive.
Isa, you were going to say something.
I had a question. So I've gotten to meet Witsit in person. I met him at, I think, both DebateCon
Yep.
4 and 5.
Well, did you by any chance shower afterwards?
I mean, the second one I was close to home, and the first one I was actually debating. So we didn't have that much. I went to see his debate though with what's his name, Leo
with Leo and
yes.
with Brianna Wu.
I saw both of those debates. I was at both of them. So I don't know. He seemed pretty sincere in his perspectives. So, I mean, I think he takes sort of the conservative approach where, and these are, do you know like those folks who, what do they call them? Preppers?
Yeah, doomsday preppers.
Yeah, so I feel he's sort of aligned where he's more like, doesn't really trust the government, and it's a whole package thing. It's not really flat earth. It's just like, that's one of the things where it's like, what else is the government lying to us about, so that's kind of the experience that I felt with him. Like, I've been around a lot of people in my life who take that point of view, which I understand. Like, I totally empathize, because the governments have done, particularly the American government, has done a lot of corrupt things throughout time. I'm not sure I would take the same conclusion of saying, well, the moon landings were staged, and what these scientists who are working in cahoots with the government are telling us is that the Earth is flat. I mean, it's a globe. Sorry, it's a globe. But I understand where that type of perspective is coming from, and that's just kind of what I felt, because I was with him, I was with Alex Stein, I was with Andrew Wilson, and I was in that corner of space, and I feel that they kind of resonate with that particular perspective. I'm not saying fully, but certain of these elements, I felt that that's what it was. It's more of like a classic American conservatism.
I agree. The problem is that Witsit is wrong about most, if not all, of the stuff that he are. Like, Witsit had a debate on fluoride in the water, and Witsit literally confused an acid with a salt. He confused hydrofluoric acid with sodium fluoride, which is basically comparing chlorhydric acid with table salt. It's like, it's nowhere near the same, but he knows like literally nothing about chemistry, so he doesn't know the mistake that he's making. And with that, it's like you can keep going, and all of his takes are equally bad.
Yeah, he can be genuine all he wants, and you know what? Fine, but we can also be genuine when we say that what you're doing is fucked up, especially when you bring your kids into the equation. So if he's going out there bragging that he's going to make a flat Earth school package for all of his fanboys so that they can teach their kids this shit, then he may be genuine when he says that, but we can be just as genuine when we say, yeah, we're going to do everything we can to unfuck the kid's mind here after you tell him that the Earth is flat. Yeah, we're gonna undo the damage as much as possible, and the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna make this information easily available. So Max is very good at this because he's actively reaching out all the time. You know, people can see his show basically in the suggested videos of a whole bunch of flat Earth content. When I'm watching flat Earth videos, I see Max. I see Max in the suggested videos. So if we continue to get this shit out there, it's basically unavoidable that eventually you're going to stumble upon one of these videos, and maybe one of these kids will stumble upon this videos. They'll watch it and be like, you know what? They're actually making a lot of sense. I'm going to look into this a little further. And just like that, Witsit has lost control. He lost them.
Yeah,
that's the best that we can hope for.
It is, and occasionally that someone leaves the cult, or you get a message saying like, "Hey, I was considering flat Earth, and you kind of rescued me right before shit go bad."
That actually has happened before. I don't remember the dude's name, but I can find the hangout if anyone doesn't believe me on this, because it sounds kind of weird. But there was a guy that messaged me on Twitter, I believe. Was it Twitter? It was probably Twitter. But anyway, he messaged me on Twitter and he challenged me to figure something out, and then we were going to have a debate about it. And if I was successful, he would give me $500. And I'm like, and now I didn't believe that this dude was serious, but he gave a challenge, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it was, but I met that challenge. I demonstrated my point using my own work. Thankfully, he gave a challenge that was actually doable. So I did the challenge, and we were about to have the debate. And guess what happened? He didn't show up. He didn't show up at all. He didn't respond to any of my messages, but he did do one thing. He changed his avatar, and the avatar was just 2 words. It's round. And from that account, he gave me a super chat for $500.
Holy shit. Wow.
Yes. And guess what? After that, I never heard from him again. That dude was out. I still to this day it's been one and done. Never heard from him again. But he gave me a super chat of $500, and that was it. Job done. So so just like that, I was like, we fucking did it. We did it. We saved someone from going down the rabbit hole and believing this bullshit. So even though it may seem like we're just constantly spinning our wheels in the mud, we do get victories. And sometimes I would say the majority of them aren't going to come out and thank us personally. They're going to be like, oh yeah, that does make sense. And then move on with their life, never having to deal with flat earth ever again because they watched one video.
Yeah. Netu replied, yes, Red, science really needs to be more vocal and present in order to communicate more effectively, because religious people push their agenda and try to dismantle science far too often. And with the way the things are in the US right now, the sentiment, RFK, head of NHS, and some of the other stuff, it is becoming more and more important to get people interested, to show, like what Mike did the other day, showing kids scientific experiments and getting them interested. That is really, really valuable work to bring people to show how science is cool, and it's awesome to be a nerd and to be like smart and do stuff in the real world.
When I was supposed to go to that event, I'm sad that I wasn't able to go, but the security apparently was way too extreme. But I will tell a story, and then after this, I'm gonna go to bed because it's 1:15 in the fucking morning.
I was thinking about doing the wrap up. So
I'll wrap up. I'll wrap up here. So I had set up my telescope recently, and I was just testing a whole bunch of stuff. So I had my cameras attached to my telescope. I was getting some images, and I really wanted to capture Saturn. So what I did was I got a shit ton of frames together, and I'll go ahead and show you guys the result of my hard work. This was recent. Let me go ahead and share this. So here is
hold on, let me remove that. There we go.
So there it is, my image of Saturn. This is from my telescope. So this was around, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning. This was early. This was early in the morning. To my surprise, somebody decided to drive up, and I guess they were coming back from a late trip. And there was a kid with them, somewhere around 12, maybe 13 years old, maybe 14 years old, somewhere around there. And they came over. There was like, wow, that's a really cool telescope. What can you see with it? And so what I did was I removed my cameras. I put an eyepiece in, and I was like, come in and look for yourself. And here's the thing. The kid had never seen Saturn before. He had never seen Saturn through a proper telescope before, like with his eyes and everything. Obviously, you see it in books and
right
on the internet, but he never truly saw it with just pure optics. So he goes and he takes a look through my telescope. I'm like, here you go, take a look for yourself. And his parents are there and everything. And this kid was fucking amazed. He was like, whoa, that is awesome. And he's like losing his shit over the fact that he's looking at Saturn. And let me tell you something. I have no soul. I have a cold, dead, shriveled up heart. And I have to say, it was like, I was like, what is this feeling?
What is this warm and fuzzy?
What is this warmth? I'm not used to this. It was so weird. So it was like that scene from The Grinch where his heart grew 3 sizes.
Yeah,
like something like that. Like this was a weird feeling. But at that moment, he like had this look in his face, like that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. And then His father was with them and his mother was with them. So they took their turns to take a look through the scope, and they were like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's amazing. So now that kid has an interest, and my hope is that he will remember that and he'll turn it into something great. Maybe he'll become a famous astronomer and discover something new. And then one day he's going to be having an interview and he's going to tell the story about he met this ugly fuck from Florida and he just happened to be there with his scope. And that's what got him intrigued with all this shit in the first place. That's what got him to decide, that shit was so fucking cool that I want to make a career out of it.
Yeah. I took my nieces to the science museum here, and they were fascinated with some of the stuff that have. And please remember that the science museum here is just like a little warehouse with a few experiments. It has a gyroscope where they kind of strap you inside and they spin you every which way, and they have a little lever that you can lift a car. And, very silly, easy, cheap stuff, but the kids love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Now with that, we're going to be on our way. Isa, would you like to say something before we go?
I mean, I think it's interesting. I hope we can hear more of the debate. Maybe we could just watch the debate and not the commentary, because then it would be easier to just is there just a space of just hearing the debate so we can hear just the arguments and we can engage the arguments, because I think it's been really
I don't know. It's Toon did it, Jeran did it, Witsit did it. I think Craig might have done it. So I wasn't thinking about actually reviewing the debate. And we've covered most of it. It was just Jeran giving evidence and Witsit just crying fallacy. There's not much else that happened at all.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it. I'm just it's been a little bit difficult because we have our commentary, we have, Witsit's commentary, and then we have the debate. So
I'll give you a link if you want.
Yeah, give me the link.
So you can watch it. But yeah, that's it's been done. I kind of like this because Witsit is my kind of target. Mike is me and Matthew Hakim, they're all idiots. Witsit thinks he's super smart. So I don't know. I see him as, if I talk to Matthew Hakim, I see it as punching down, or Mikey, that's really punching down. I kind of like Witsit. He's a more worthy target, humbly. Red, any final thought? Sorry.
My last point I was going to say, I think it's really interesting because, both Jeran and Witsit went to the final experiment, right? That's what it's called, the final experiment.
Correct.
And they, kind of had two different, they were allies. They were on the same team. It's almost kind of like a movie. It's this kind of tragedy that you have these two heroes that kind of are on the same side, but then this experience affects them, and then they go their different ways, and then they meet on the battlefield as foes. It's sort of poetic in a sense. It's like one of those kind of epic tragedies, like maybe an anime tragedy that you think of, but that's kind of how I see this whole situation, but it's definitely interesting. I wonder how, both of their contents are going to go moving forward, and, wonder what the
Jeran is trying to reinvent himself. He's doing a little bit of game shows and a little bit of flat earth debunking. He's trying to find, basically reinvent himself. Witsit has no idea what he's going to fucking do. He's just lost. Red, any final thoughts before we go?
Yes, I do want to say thank you, Max, for inviting me. This was a great time. It was fun. Let's do it again sometime.
Anytime.
I would like to end by saying that if you have the opportunity, if you have a telescope, and there happens to be someone who seems to be very curious about it, whether it's a kid or even an adult, let them look through your telescope. Let them look into the eyepiece and see the planets and the stars and whatever you're looking at, because that could be, that could be a big deal to them and sets them on a path where they start contributing to science, not just enjoying the views of the night sky. So, if you have a telescope, make sure you share, because these things can be expensive at times. But this is how we get people interested in science. This is how we get people interested in the universe, because at the end of the day, we are the universe's way of knowing itself. So let's share the love, and we'll do good. We'll do what needs to be done. And this is a great way to counteract flat Earth without giving these fuckers any attention whatsoever. So with that, Max, thank you so much. Have a good night, and
thank
peace
you.
out.
And if you haven't subscribed to Reds, I'll put his link right there. If you're here, you probably know who Reds is, but just in case we have any kind of straggler. And with that, people, make sure before you go to do the social thing is like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your street, and subscribe to Reds Rhetoric and Yerba Mate Talks. And that way we can share the love for the channel. It's been a blast as always. Actually today, Friday, we have an abortion debate with first. Oh wait, no, I think that freaking changed. Hold on, 1 second. Oh shoot, my computer is freezing. Fuck me. I'm super frozen. And I am froze. All right. Let me check MDD and tell you what we're doing in the next couple of days. I know that Sunday there is 2 debates with David Wood and Daniel Pikachu. So we're definitely doing that. And we're going to have to change then the music stream. Instead of doing it Sunday, we're doing it Saturday, same time. I'll do that change now. But we are doing the after show for those 2 debates between Daniel Pikachu and David Wood. Isa, we're finally going to check out the Islamic dilemma in a more formal setting. I'm excited about that.
It's really interesting.
Stay tuned. Thank you, everyone. Reds, it was so much fun. We can do this anytime. Isa, always a pleasure. Take care, everyone. We'll catch you on the next one. Good night.